That was weird. I don't know why it made me
I
hit the go live
refreshed it.
button. Usually it does it for me, but I had to hit it this time by myself. That was weird.
Yeah, I see where it still shows it's supposed to.
Might take a second because I just had hit the goal.
Yep, that was.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why I did that.
That way I
There
can
we
also
go.
keep up with chat and answer questions as they come in.
Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't live by itself. Usually, as soon as I hit the go live button on the YouTube, it's live, but I had to hit it like manually on the YouTube dashboard. I've never had to do that before.
That's what
Oh,
I
because I didn't
noticed.
turn on automatic live as soon as it detected it. Whoops.
I don't know why this browser is so bright for a collision, but okay.
I use Chrome and I use the auto force dark or whatever that they have built in dark page because I fucking hate bright ass pages.
No,
All right,
that
there we
no Chrome.
go. There we go. Now we're live. Thank you. I didn't even realize we weren't live.
Oh, you're welcome, man.
Luckily, we didn't start. I mean, it
Yeah,
wouldn't have mattered. We would have had it recording anyways, but
yeah. I was waiting on it to pop up. Maybe I thought maybe there's a delay in it, but
yeah, I forgot to turn on the little setting on the YouTube live to like automatically detect a live, so it automatically pushes, but I didn't do that this time, so I had to push it myself. What's up, everyone? What's up, Make? I think that's how you say that. What is up, JJ? What's up, Hannah? What's up, Juice? How's everyone? Guys, we are going to be doing the first episode of a new podcast. This is Kraken Wrestling. If you guys want to follow him everywhere, hit that link. His link tree is in the description of this live. And yeah, I'll let him introduce himself real quick to all y'all who might not know him.
yeah. So thank you again for the podcast and the introduction. I am the Kraken Wrestling here on YouTube. I've been a wrestling fan for 25 years. I went to my first show, I do believe, when I was 6 years old, and it was SummerSlam. So that's what really
That's sick.
got me into the live events. My dad was a big part of that, and then I remember my first VHS tape I had was Sting's highlights. So I went all through that, and so Sting, the Hardys, going to SummerSlam, that helped out as well. And then went to WrestleMania in 2017, which was big for me. I got to see the Hardys return at that one in Orlando.
Oh, 33, yeah.
Yeah. And then I got to witness Sting's final match. So the man who got me into professional wrestling,
Oh,
I got to see his
man, I'm
last
envious
match
of
live.
that.
So there's some great moments there. But yeah, professional wrestling has been a big part of my life growing up, and now I've continued it with this as well.
Yeah, so this is going to be hopefully a weekly thing for us. Maybe, I don't know, as of now, a weekly thing that will both fit in our schedules. Well, obviously, he has family. I have my things going on, so we'll do this when we can. We don't know on a specific date. Thursdays is kind of the days that we're going to try to go for, but this week I had a lot going on, and it kind of just worked out to do it before SummerSlam today. So welcome in, everyone. This is kind of before the podcast, if you will. We're kind of just getting settled in here, getting ready to go. But our plan is to review shows, talk news of the week, stuff like that, add some games into there eventually, some type of fun activities instead of just talking wrestling, you know. Maybe I'll incorporate stuff that my viewers know from Rick G on Wednesdays, where he has us do some really fun, stupid shit for his music reviews, like draw the singer as in less than a minute and shit like that. It's really fun. So maybe we'll incorporate more stuff like that. He had some ideas too, Kraken, to incorporate some fun into this as well. So welcome in, everyone.
Yeah, there's a couple ideas. We're just gonna see how it goes, of course. I feel like we could probably throw some trivia in there somewhere along the ways if we are able to do them live as well.
Yeah,
Get
definitely.
both of our communities.
That's something I always did too, was those quizzes I was telling you about before. So people love wrestling trivia in my community, at least.
Absolutely.
But I'm ready whenever you are to get this started.
Yeah,
If you
so
want me
I
to do the
guess
intro, we can, or I can. I mean,
either one's fine with me. I know we're gonna hit it running.
oh, you're muted again. No, you're good
Am
now.
I?
Like you cut off for a second. Like you hit it running and then it like cut out. I don't know if you talked after that, but it looked like you did.
Okay, so I said we was gonna hit it running and start probably talking about Monday Night Raw and the final build up for SummerSlam there.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Turnbuckle Talk with Kraken Wrestling and myself, Hill Josh. We are here to talk about everything wrestling when it comes to WWE and AEW. Primarily, we will talk multiple other promotions as well when there is the need to, or if we watch something that we want to talk about on here. Basically, this is anything that we feel we need to talk about in the world of wrestling, sharing our thoughts, sharing our opinions, and we're going to add a lot of fun into here eventually, some games, so on and so forth. So welcome into the first ever episode. I'm Hill Josh, and this is Kraken Wrestling. Oh, by the way, Kraken Wrestling.
Yeah, it's this side for me as well. So
See, yeah, that's why I was like, oh wait, that's not pointing to you, but for me, that's where it is.
Yeah, it's backwards for some reason.
It's backwards. Yeah, exactly. That's what threw me off. But yeah, so we're this week gonna mainly just talk about the build up to SummerSlam, which is obviously tonight and tomorrow. We got 12 matches going on this weekend for the WWE for their first ever 2-night SummerSlam. So there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the build up this week. And we're just gonna go ahead and dive right into Monday Night Raw review here. We started out Raw with the Hulk Hogan tribute. Of course, they did it 3 times for each show. Of course, he did a lot for wrestling, and it was good to see them paying someone who did a lot for wrestling tribute, regardless of how you feel about the person behind the character, myself included. So, obviously, well deserved for what he did in pro wrestling. But yeah, they did that 3 times to start, and good stuff on them. But the intro segment after that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. From talking about the Hogan thing, I think his son was there for Monday night as well, so it had a more of emotional feel to it.
Dude, okay, I have to say, Sarah and I totally are blind. We thought that was Garrett Bischoff at first for some reason.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
and then when they came back from the video and had this like closer shot of them, I was like, oh my god, that's Nick. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, because I think last Friday, I feel like they put it together as fast as they could with who was available.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they were like, hey, they probably reached out to his family and was like, we're wanting to do this for your dad. Are you comfortable with coming?
Yeah. But either way, it was really cool to see them give someone who did so much for wrestling, his due. It was basically expected, but it was nice to see that they went all out, and especially with the way the videos changed from Friday to Monday. Like, obviously, like you said, it was put together as quick as possible. They used like Hogan's theme and the video package that they did on Friday, but then on Monday they had like a whole song throughout the whole thing. That really topped it off nicely, I thought.
Yeah, the song, I think, added more feel and emotion to it.
Definitely, it was really well done. The video package was very well done.
It was.
So after that, though, we started immediately with Paul Heyman and Jey Uso talking about family, basically. So I'll let you take over here. Do you have any notes on that opening Paul Heyman, Jey Uso segment?
I do. I feel like Heyman still shows why he is a true master manipulator of minds, even towards Jey, because I feel like for the bloodline, he has more that he can use because he's known the family forever. And him talking about, Roman betraying Jey before, we've seen it happen. How is it not going to happen now? I think that really is building on this story more than what I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to, other than building. And I don't want to say for War Games, but I feel like that's what it's pushing it in a sense.
It could be, for sure.
And then you got Jey, who constantly, I feel, delivers better when he's in an emotional promo than it is for him building on just a regular match. So I feel like that's his strongest promos.
Oh, definitely. 100% agreed. I feel like you're 100% right. Like, just the way... And it's funny, too. I'm just glad the crowd wasn't trying to yeet after everything Jey said here. Because sometimes he'll have to, like, tell him, like, not right now or something, which is a little funny. But no, yeah, this whole segment was really good with Paul Heyman basically like, I can't believe you're going to team with your cousin now again after everything that's happened, and he didn't choose you for the next in line for the tribal chief. He chose Solo, and really, like you said, just mind games. Just really try to get in Jay's head that like Roman's not doing this for family. He's doing this for his own self-worth or whatever he wants, out of this. But I really
And
enjoyed
that's
this
like,
segment.
yeah. And today, I don't know if you've seen on social media, Roman said today we show them why we still run this shit.
Yeah, I
You
did see
know,
that.
trying to still build on the fact that, I mean, and on top of this, it's just the aspect of what Paul Heyman done to him at WrestleMania is still eating at him as well.
Maybe so. I don't know if I got that personally off of Paul Heyman. I could see it though. I mean, I think he maybe is just more scared of the consequences because he still really hasn't gotten, I feel like, anything like his karma, I guess, if you will, from turning on both Punk
Yeah, he
and
has
Roman.
not.
Like, it's just been him hiding behind Braun and Bronson this whole time. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be when they finally get their hands on Paul, whether it be Punk or Roman. I think it's gonna be a good build for that.
yeah, it could happen tonight, honestly, with Roman at least.
It could, and then yet again, I'm surprised they're not having that match closer to the end of the show because I think the way they showed the card last night is the order we get.
And you know what? I never thought of that when they did like went through like all the moving graphics and stuff. I never thought that that might have been the match order. But was it in the? I don't even remember. I feel like I kind of wasn't as focused when they went over it last night. Was it in like they split it by the days and everything?
They did.
Okay.
So they, of course, Punk's the main event, so it was dead last.
Yeah, that's true. Punk said that in an interview yesterday, I believe that they were, or like 2 days ago, that they
Yeah.
were main eventing.
So I'm odd. I'm kind of conflicted where it lands because then I think Paul could still use the the briefcase situation if possible
Yeah, because he's
outside
been
of.
carrying it like if it's his. So
Yeah, I know, but
he
yeah,
maybe it's in the maybe they'll do the whole co-main event thing like AEW did. I don't know what they would consider all their main events for night one, but obviously the because we get both women's title. No, we get Tiffany J tonight. So
yep.
we may get like the triple main event kind of thing like we did at All In, maybe. Or
Hmm.
maybe but WWE likes to open with a big match too. So maybe Tiffany Jade or Roman and Jay versus Braun and Bronson opens.
Yeah, and I feel like Jay and Roman want to close the show, and Paul does too. But they're not going to step over Punk because I feel like there's more to that than what that Punk and Paul is going to have in that play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe it's like that Brock Lesnar situation, like from WrestleMania, was it 35, where Paul Heyman came out like right after the intro and was like, Brock didn't want to wait, for later. Since he's not the main event, he'd rather just get it done now. I think when he faced Seth at
Yes,
35, maybe they'll
it
do a
is.
situation
Yep.
like that with Roman and Jay and Braun and Bronson. That'd be kind of funny. Like Braun
Yeah,
and Bronson don't want to have to wait around to beat their ass. Let's just start the show off with it now, or something like that.
and like
That'd
they
be cool.
hijacked the show. Yeah,
That'd be
it would
pretty
be
cool.
nice.
But yeah, great. That was a great segment on Raw. It definitely hyped up that match a lot, and I could see why people would think that could be the main event because of segments like that built up for it. And then obviously, it's Roman fucking Reigns and Jey Uso, so they're like the top of the top right now.
Yeah, Roman's been the top of the franchise besides Cody for like the last 6 years. When he came back during the pandemic era, I really feel like he solidified himself as what got them through that. That whole him, Jimmy, and Jay really pulled us through the PC arena and then the virtual arena as well.
That's true. So after that
Definitely.
on Raw this week, we had a really great intergender 6-person tag. Kabuki Warriors AJ Styles versus Dirty Dom, Raquel, and Roxanne. This match was really fucking fun. Like, it may not have been like the best, like it was a great in-ring match, but like it was just super refreshing, I feel like, to get something like this in WWE.
Yeah. Of course, the Kabuki Warriors, in my opinion, are a great tag team. They, of course, have been with the injury bug, both of them,
Hmm.
a lot. But the chemistry with AJ was spot on.
Yeah, it felt like they had been teaming up for like a long time, or like we're already a faction of some sort. Just in the ring, the chemistry was super good. The match was just super fun, and I feel like a lot of people have said this online lately, but Raquel has definitely, and I didn't even think she was like bad prior, but she's like definitely made the change in her moveset to fit her size better. She felt just like another wrestler when she was in the ring, like just another. But now she's really playing to the size of her compared to the other women, and it was something Kevin Nash pointed out, and it's definitely you could tell she took it to heart.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with she was out for so long with her medical stuff that when she came back, she wants to solidify herself as a top women's competitor in WWE.
She might, and I mean, she had that really good match with Rhea too, like a month or so
absolutely.
ago. Street Fight or whatever it was.
Her and Rhea killed it in NXT together as well.
Yeah, I loved Raquel in NXT. So when she came up to the main roster, I felt like she definitely didn't feel the same. I just thought it was a case of like, coming up, so many people on the roster, you don't have so much time. That's what it felt like for a while. And then she ended up just, being like a tag champ. She's won the most tag titles of anyone on the main roster.
Her and Liv, yep.
So, but she's really, I think, making the strides to differentiate herself. I can't say that word for some reason, but to make herself stand out differently than the rest of the women, at least in ring.
Yeah, and then you got that what AJ threw Kyrie Sane.
And the launch, yeah.
And Kyrie, you could see the look on her face like she was nervous, and AJ just gave her like that look, like I got it, don't worry. And he just launched her over the top.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Like
it was.
Her clearing the rope, getting launched was perfect. The timing, and then being caught perfectly. Like she didn't get missed. Like they didn't just let her fall. Like it was so clean. It was super awesome. Yep. But good match with Kabuki Warriors and AJ Styles winning. But does that mean wrestling math is going to be at play here? Does Dom win tomorrow?
See, and so that goes back to when I was younger, talking about how my dad got me introduced me to wrestling. He always said if whoever was standing victorious, there we go, on the show prior to lost at the pay-per-view. So
yeah, typically that's what I was used to as well.
So I could see that, but with us knowing that AJ does not have much time left, and he's admitted that.
Yeah, he said that at the pre-show yesterday or whatever they called it, kickoff.
And then they're wanting to push Dom heavy in AAA. Are we going to get a double belt Dom?
Yes.
Or are we just going to have AJ take the IC and Dom run in AAA for a while?
I mean,
build it as well.
If you've seen the clip, I'm sure you've seen the clip of him when he showed up in AAA and he attacked them and he took the mask off. Did you see the footage that Triple H posted with out the TV? It was just like a fan camera. It was I did not. It was one of the most deafening pops I've heard this year. And obviously it wasn't like a 20,000 seat. Like, I don't know how many people were in the arena for that at AAA, but it was like deafening. So Triple H shared the footage on his like IG or whatever, Twitter. And it was just like a fan cam or like someone with like a pro cam basically sitting ringside, and as soon as that mask came off, it was deafening. It just sounded like a hair dryer, but you could tell it was like a super loud pop. And people even focused in on like Dom's arm. You could see his hair standing up on his arm because of how loud it got once he took off his mask.
I'm guessing he wasn't expecting that.
No,
at all.
Or it's just once you hear that, it's hard not to get chills and shit like that in a moment like that when you're getting cheered. But yeah, no, he was super over. So I would be shocked. And I wouldn't be shocked at the same time. So I guess shocked isn't the right word, but I'd be a bit surprised if he doesn't retain against AJ. I know his reign, and I don't blame this on Dom, has when it comes to actually defending the IC title, has been meh. He's had some good stuff happening during it to make you it's not like a Shinsuke thing where he's like forgettable as champion. It's just more he's not really doing much with the belt. And then they did the whole story with AJ, which made it makes sense. But I really think they would be missing a big opportunity with two belts, Dom.
Yeah. And see, like you said, with the Intercontinental, the situation with him not having a lot of defenses, and it hasn't been forgettable because he's still so much in play with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, that's true. He's always doing something.
Yeah. And he's either getting, Finn or JD's giving him hell in the back over something that happened, or Raquel's like, have you talked to Liv when Roxanne's trying to, hand her the Nintendo,
Yeah.
So he's still getting the, I guess, TV time, and he still gets somewhat booed on his entrance, but then when you get him in the ring, he starts wrestling. He's so over as a heel.
And he's improved. Like I thought he was even good when he first debuted back in 2020 or whatever. But he's just so much improved since then in the ring.
Yes, yeah, and I know he still goes with his dad's a deadbeat, and I think that's still working for him. But
Because it's
I
true.
feel like
Just kidding.
now, if if we do the double belts, are we gonna see the heel side where he diverts away from that and gets out of the Judgment Day and does his own thing, kind of like Jay's done as a face?
Maybe. I could see it. I don't know. There's so much they could do with this Judgment Day storyline. Like they could keep them having the titles, and then when Liv returns, like have them start losing it right before that, been seeing like, oh, we were more successful without you type of situation. Or they could even do it where they lose the belts before, like a while before she comes back. She comes in and see you can't do it without. Like there's so many routes they could go. I feel like.
Yeah, there is, and I
Like
think it's gonna be interesting when she does come back because, of course, you probably know she's out for like 3 to 6 months with a shoulder surgery, supposedly.
yeah, I believe until basically next year, beginning of next year.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yes.
So after the Dom, after AJ and Kabuki Warriors getting the win, we had Sheamus Grayson. Pretty okay match. Nothing really stood out here. Sheamus ends up getting the victory. Or no, I'm sorry. Rusev attacks him before he could get the victory. Oh no, Sheamus does, but Rusev does come out. I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. But I hate to say, Rusev is just so forgettable right now. As much as I enjoy his promos, he's still cutting the similar promos AEW. I just forget that he's there still.
Yeah. The only great thing about this is we finally got Austin Theory and Grayson Waller away from each other because I feel like they've only drug each other down in a tag team. I feel like it just did not work. It did at the beginning, but then once they got the tag titles, I feel like it dropped off.
I feel like it had a lot to do with the story of how long they kept teasing that they weren't getting along. It took so long to finally, and then when it finally, the payoff ended up being, and they could rectify this when Theory, whatever happens, returns. I think Grayson said he was dealing with an injury, and so he was whatever. But I just felt like they were building up, and then they would just like stop the build up for that, and they wouldn't even be on TV, and then they'd come back on TV. Then they were building up that there were still some issues, and then they did it in NXT. Like, it was just too long, and then when they finally separated, it was like Theory wasn't even there. It was just Waller saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm done with him." I was like, "What? After 2 years, that's how it ends? Like really?" Like, that was the payoff was as at the moment not worth it.
I feel like we kind of have to have almost like a Jade segment where we see like some footage or something of Waller was the one that attacked him to give more to it because
Maybe.
I don't think Theory's really hurt. I think, and he's probably, in my opinion, going to join Seth as the future of WWE.
Maybe.
I feel like him and it's gonna sound crazy, but Ricky Saints could easily join Seth as well.
I don't know why Ricky though. He's a face at the moment. That'd be so random.
It would be, but you could easily turn him heel. I think it would work better for him.
Ethan would fit that spot much better.
Yeah, that too.
I think Ricky's he's a good heel. He was a good heel in AEW, but I just feel like it'd be kind of interesting just to drop him as whatever he's doing in NXT currently. I don't think he's really doing much at the moment since the Ethan Page match, but
yeah, he's not.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I could see Theory for sure, though, if anyone joining the Seth faction.
Yeah, and then the last thing for the Sheamus thing is if we continue to build the Rusev feud, which the true hatred that you see on screen for them two, I think is what's keeping that alive as well as it is.
That's true. So after that, we had a backstage segment with Naomi and Rhea and stuff like that. Nothing really too crazy here. Basically, I'm just going to cut to the Lyra Valkyria segment here. A lot of people were talking about her Becky Stompers line. I saw
Becky Stompers, yeah.
I think that this has been the best, for me, the most interesting story going into SummerSlam. They built this one up really well. It's been happening for, what, a month and a half, 2 months, basically. It's had some of the most time build up. Obviously, it's carried over from Evolution and stuff. But overall, this, when it comes to their segments, I'm paying more attention to this than a lot of other stuff going into SummerSlam, just because I feel like it's been going on for so long, and it's actually been a pretty good story compared to some of the things going into SummerSlam.
I think this has been Lyra's best work since she came up to the main roster.
Yeah, I like it, and I like that it's not just her and Becky. Like they've incorporated the Bailey stuff all the way from WrestleMania into this still, which a lot of us
Yeah.
didn't really like initially. I've turned around on that because I feel like they've done a good job at obviously Bailey's not on the card, which sucks. Which I think she'll get involved in the match at SummerSlam, but I just love how everything's played out with. Really, it's all of this. I don't know who to credit, the WWE creative or Becky being hands on with it, but it's been really fucking enjoyable.
It has been. And what really drove me like nuts with it was the crowd doing the what chant for like the
Yeah.
first 2 or 3 build-ups going into Evolution for these two, and then even after that, because I feel like there was a lot of good stuff in this that a lot of people just overlooked in general. But then of course we're really seeing the development of Lyra as well.
I
I
will
don't know if
say,
Becky's working with her or who is, but I think
yeah.
it's been great.
And I feel like they've done a good job at presenting Lyra. And I feel like she's had a lot of good promos. I've seen a lot of people say that her promo, they didn't like it though on Monday. Like, I'm honestly like
Really?
looking at the review here, and the person who I'm using their thing for, like, kind of just recap stuff, it has their like opinions at the bottom of each segment, and they're like atrocious
Mhm.
promo from Lyra. She tried, but it was on the same level as the Roman saying tater tots and stuff from Succotash. I don't think it was near that at all.
No, it
I
was not. You didn't. No.
I don't understand. Like, to each their own, but like I thought the Becky Stompers was good. Like, obviously it's not gonna make everyone pop, but I thought that was funny too. But at the end of the day, you can't please everyone. But like, I did see a lot of people saying that they didn't really care for this segment. Like, it just wasn't it from Lyra, and I thought it was good. I don't think it was great or like a career defining promo or anything, but it was a good build, I thought.
Yeah, it was. And I think she recovered very well. I don't think there was any issue with it because the suckering succotash, and then you had, wasn't that against Cena at that point?
I don't even remember. Black
And,
that out.
you know, I think Cena called him out for it. It was like, you can't even do a promo. Like, how are you supposed to be the face? And that's not what, I don't feel like it was the same thing.
I don't know if it was the same promo where he told Roman that. I think Roman just flubbed some lines, and that's when Cena said that. He's like, "Come on, let's call a promo, kid. We all got to do it," or something like that. But yeah, no, it was nowhere near either of those levels. I felt,
No.
but I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what. I guess the Becky Stompers line really threw people off. I really don't know why, but here's something that I'm really interested in that happened was the Sami Zayn interview with Turning Cross coming up to him. I really like Karrion Kross. I've liked Karrion Kross when I first saw him in NXT. I loved the character then. Might not be the most crazy in-ring performer, but he's solid. And I really love his character work. And that's what WWE primarily focuses on anyways. So I really love what he's been doing for like the last year plus. The stuff with Sammy I feel like is pretty solid. I really loved this interview, or like where he invaded the interview and sat down with him, and it was really good. The one thing I don't care for is basically they added the stipulation to the match where if Sammy wins, Cross has to say that he isn't whatever the fuck he's been saying. And then same with Cross, if he wins, Sammy has to say that he's been right this whole time. That's a little weird, I think, going into this match. But I get it because it's been part of the story. But it's just like, eh.
And so, of course, now with the internet, of course, we all know people's contracts, if they re-sign, stuff like this. There's been a lot of speculation that the reason Karrion put the ending part where he's like, he told Sammy that if you win, I'll be gone. I'll leave you alone. I'll quit basically messing or pestering with you or whatever. And a lot of people are speculating that's because supposedly middle of August he's supposed to not be there no more. And I don't think that's the case. I think Karrion's a true puppet master inside WWE. He has been for a while. I think he
Yeah,
plays
he
that role
has.
very well. Um, I really am looking forward to carrying winning against Sammy. I think it would be the wrong move to have Sammy win because he's been a face for way too long. Sammy
So
has.
if the dirt sheets are correct on the whole contract situation, supposedly
Yeah.
they haven't even formally started talks with him. Which, if his
Exactly,
contract
yeah.
is up this month, is crazy. Because then you look back at the R-Truth situation, and Truth was facing Cena at Saturday Night Main Event, and then days later was released.
Mm-hmm.
Or told that his
Yep.
contract they're gonna let it expire. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that is legit, and he has yet to have talks with the company, and they're shit. I hate to say it because I love Cross and WWE, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't keep him.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like if he gets, I think if he leaves, there's a great place he could go.
I mean, he could go so many. Wrestling's in such a great state. There's so many places he could go right now. But
Yeah,
I would love him to stay in WWE. I honestly feel like they're gonna go with Sammy. I really feel like,
yeah,
and it's only because they're not certain if they're gonna keep him around at this point. That's my only prediction for that. Is like a reason why. I just don't even think WWE even knows what they're gonna do right now. And plus, Karrion posted a tweet on Monday after Raw of a video that ended at the very end of the video saying the return of Killer Part 2, and it was like August 2025.
yeah. And I think that's close to the date that he supposedly doesn't have any renewal. And we know Killer Cross was big in the Indies. We've seen that at GCW.
Yeah.
And Vegas.
So I hate to say it, but I think Sammy wins, and I think Cross will be in limbo, and they'll try to figure out if they're going to resign him, or I feel like that's where they're going to go. They're just going to go with Sammy, and then they're just going to go from there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're probably right, but I'd rather see Karrion get the push finally.
Same, and he's been getting a push, but it's just I don't know. It's just I don't know what WWE wants with him right now. I don't know if they even know what they want with him right now, but it's hard to tell because like a lot of the time on Raw, he'll be like just in like if you have Netflix and you're like international, you only really get to see him in the commercial segment. So like I've been using a VPN lately, so I get to see those finally. But a lot of the time up until the Sammy feud recently, he wasn't even really on the show. He was just on the in between segments during commercials that us in America can't see, and it was annoying as fuck because I love Karrion Kross. So I've been using VPN to watch lately, so I get to see those more. And now he's been more on actual Raw in general, besides those now. But it's like that was barely just 4 weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago that was the case. So
Yeah, I don't. Of course, I don't have the VPN that. Of course, so you were saying you use for that. So I see those on like X and stuff. But yeah,
it's annoying, right?
Yeah, I hate that they're not utilizing him because his mic skills are great, his in-ring skills are fantastic, and promos have only increased.
100%. I think he's super intriguing just to listen to. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see what happens tonight because that's tonight. So I got Sammy, but I hope he pulls it off. After that, we had an 8-women's tag. Naomi, Chelsea, and the Secret Service versus Io, Stephanie, Nikki, and Rhea. I really don't have much to say. It was a good match. It was like an all-star tag, if you will. Nothing bad about this at all. Just really nothing too standoutish as well, I feel like. Unless you have anything. But I do think that Io, Stephanie, Nikki, and Rhea is an insane fucking team to have.
Yeah. You said the all-star match, and I remember what people were saying about it.
Yeah,
They were like,
yeah.
it's just missing the $4,000, 400,000. Yeah.
It was literally an all-star tag.
Yeah. For me, the biggest point that I remember and that I wrote down was the push that they still have for Stephanie Vaquer is obvious,
Oh yeah.
and they're most definitely going to be probably giving her the title in Paris. I just don't know who's going to have it.
Oh, I got
'Cause-
Naomi retaining this weekend. I don't think Stephanie. I think they're gonna make her. They're gonna give her the Cody chase. They're gonna have her chase that title for a bit.
To WrestleMania.
Possibly. I don't know if through Mania, but I don't think they'll crown it in Paris for her.
If they don't, that's fine because when she does win it, it's going to be huge. I think it needs to be, and I mean Vegas would make sense. Because that's where WrestleMania 42 is at for WrestleMania. But I think it needs to be against Rhea in an odd way. I think they've built that just by they didn't even had a promo against each other really yet. Just the stare downs they've had in the
Yeah.
ring, even after winning. I think
Yeah,
that
they did that with Bianca and Rhea too for years, and they still haven't had a technical one-on-one yet. So
yeah.
yeah, I think they're gonna hold off on that to like it could be Rumble, it could be Mania. I don't know when, but I just don't think it'll be in Paris. I think they'll I'll be shocked if she gets that title that quickly. I was
And
shocked that she moved up to the main roster as quick as she did.
yeah, I mean, her and Julia kind of came at the same time to the main roster, right?
Yeah, within like a month of each other.
Yeah. And then another point I had, the Secret Harvest with Chelsea Green, Piper, and Alba Fire, that is still working tremendously well, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're funny. I like them.
Yeah, whatever they do not need to disband that currently.
No, yeah, I don't think they shouldn't. I mean, but WWE likes to break up their women's tag teams for some reason.
Yeah, because, I mean, you put them and Naomi against your 4 top superstars right now in the women's division, and it was smooth. There were no issues, and Chelsea Green still got to do her like comic style wrestling she likes to do.
Yeah. So
So
they're a good faction to have. They're good. What does Cross say? They're good soldiers. Excuse me.
yes, good soldiers.
So after that we had the Judgment Day Clubhouse. I'm a big Liv fan. I don't know if you knew that. So I'm like huge on Liv Morgan right now, and Dom obviously. They're obviously leading towards a separation with Dom and Liv. Slowly building this up with Roxanne giving him a Nintendo Switch, but he's trying to play it off. Like he's like, "Oh, can we call Liv? She loves 2K." And I just love the Clubhouse segments overall. They're always funny. There's always some type of comedy in there, even if it's subtle, some type of callback thing or something. But yeah, they're definitely. I feel like this segment definitely is the start of Roxanne getting on Dom's side to where he's gonna like slowly not talk about Liv as much.
Yeah. And there's the only issue I have, and I guess it's not an issue to worry, is are they going to run the same story they did with Liv and Rhea?
I think they are, but it's gonna be Dom's a lot more hesitant. Like where it feels like Liv captivated him pretty quickly. Like he would only like not like he'd unfold basically, if you will, when the rest of the Judgment Day was around. So like she like
Yeah.
knocked him down on the couch or whatever that one segment, or brought him the chicken tendies, and he was like, "Oh, what?" And he like got all happy. So I like with Roxanne, she gave him the Switch, and then he was like, "Oh, you know who loves 2K?" He immediately switched it on to Liv. You know, like trying not to follow the same suit. So I think it's gonna be a little bit because Liv's gonna be out for a while. So this is gonna probably be that's why I think that it's gonna be a slow build on taking the titles off of them too. Is because Liv's not going to be there for a while, and I feel like it'd be a cool story to tell. That like we couldn't win all the titles when you were here, only you and Roxanne or Raquel, and then whatever Dom. But now that I was in charge with you gone, we all had titles. Type of story.
Yeah, that does make sense. And I will say with the Clubhouse, the one thing that's missing is Carlito's like his presence and what he brought to him as well.
I feel like JD's done a good job at filling in for that. Like especially 2 weeks ago, I think it was. They showed like they had 2K on in the background, and JD had it initially as Liv and Raquel, and then he switched it to Roxanne. I thought that was a good touch and a good little thing because then like he also looked back at them when he did it, and then he switched it. Like if Roxanne saw that he accidentally had Liv first, then he switched it. Like, oh, did she see I had Liv?
That makes sense, yeah.
So I think JD's done a good job at filling in for those type of things a little bit. Not as much as Carlito did. Carlito was definitely just comedy guy. You know,
yeah, I mean, I hate he got released again, but of course, you know, he added that comedy to the group when it was needed.
So after that, we had the LWO versus the Judgment Day for the World Tag Team titles. Of course, there was some interesting stuff in this one because we saw a new El Grande Americano, if you will, on top of the Ludwig, if you will, if that's who it is. I think it's Omos. I don't know about you, but
yeah.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, like we was talking about before the AAA thing, we've had a Grande Americano show up recently in AAA.
Oh, yeah, he had a match, yeah. He was over.
And it was over tremendously well down there. So
he even got them to sing a song with him. And who would have known that? And this is talking about who it actually is. It's obviously Ludwig, this new one, obviously.
Yes.
But I had no idea he was fluent in Spanish.
I did not either.
He speaks it pretty well. And I think that's what won them over even more, was the fact that he was able to speak to them in Spanish. Like, he was already over before that promo, but like once he started, like, because he did it on Raw too, where he spoke Spanish. But once he did it there in AAA, I think they were like, fuck, we don't give a shit. This guy is awesome. Like, he's speaking exactly the way we speak. Like, he's great in the ring, because who doesn't love Ludwig in the ring? He's really good. But he played it well, and a lot of people, myself included, didn't care that they put him in that spot. Like, really, we've been saying, where has he been this whole time? And now he's going to fill in as El Grande. It might pay off. It might pay off. We're still early in it, but it's been a good start for him as that. So
what I think is going to happen is, and I even said this in my own chat the other night, was that we're going to get the same situation where we had several different Doink the Clowns.
I can see it. It was a different mask, though, so it was obviously Pete Dunne under the second mask.
Yeah,
and which makes sense with the past with Ludwig and Dunne as well, because they had interactions in the past that led to nothing, and now you could kind of tie that together.
And they also lost to Penta, because that was the whole reason Chad Gable done this.
Well, and then I think it was Santi Zap said this on his show or stream or whatever, that who were Penta's first opponents? Chad Gable, Ludwig Kaiser, and Pete Dunne. So that also ties into the whole El Grande Americano story of, why that character became a thing and not being able to beat the Luchas. So it all ties together kind of well, even though this happened based off of injury.
It does. And I didn't even know Santi had mentioned that. That's
yeah,
crazy that
I saw
the connection's
it on his,
all
TikTok
there.
Or whatever. I saw it on TikTok. But yeah, so I didn't think of that. Like, yeah, that was Gable's all first opponents was those three, and now here they are wearing the masks. But it's going to be interesting. I don't know why. Like, why would there be a new Grande at this point? Why was he helping the other El Grande, or whatever you want to call this new mask guy? Like, why was that? We'll find out, obviously. I really don't, in my head, I can't think of a reason technically why he came and helped. Obviously, they're going to fight the LWO was the thing.
Yep.
The Luchas, so that makes sense in that front. But why did he bring in another mask guy? And just because he wants to beat down the LWO? And just need it up? Like,
it could be. Or they realize how big and how hot that character is. And if we can build a tag team around that as well, because, Dragon Lee said it's mockery. And, the LWO currently consists of Dragon Lee and Wilder, and I'm drawing a blank with the other one's name. But you know what I mean. There's three of them, so you can do a triple threat tag match. But then that leaves out Chad Gable is still hurt, so he can't be the other El Grande. So do you pull someone else in now as well? Because where's Tyler Bates been?
I don't know. Tyler Bate did an interview like a month or so ago saying that he was just waiting to be told what's next. Like, they were just waiting to be used, basically. Like, I guess they had been on main event prior to that, but yeah. And Speed's not a thing right now again, so like they're not even a part of that. So I have no idea.
I seen Triple H said it was getting like 2.5 million views on X, which, if that's true, it is cool. Why is it not being brought more to maybe Netflix as like a one-off series?
Because it was a contract they had with X or Twitter or whatever. Like, it was just like a deal they made with them. So I don't know if that expired or what, but yeah, it hasn't been a thing for a bit now. I didn't even notice it wasn't a thing until like the report came out yesterday. Like, hey, this hasn't been going on for a while, and we don't know what's happening. Like, no one has brought that up. That must have been no one in my community fucking watched it. So
I didn't either. So no one had asked me, so I understand.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll just see what happens with this new El Grande, whatever you want to call him, the new masked man, which is obviously Pete Dunne with El Grande. So I'm intrigued. By it, honestly. And that tag match wasn't bad either. The World Tag match with Judgment Day and LWO obviously ended with the interference to help Judgment Day retain, but we're kind of used to that with Judgment Day.
Yeah, and LWO, they really proved that once they are truly healthy, they can still be a dominant tag team.
Yeah, they just. I will say, going into this, even though they won the number one contendership leading up to this or whatever it was, I forgot what match they won to win this, but they haven't been booked to feel like contenders. So I wasn't really going into this match with much like, oh yeah, Judgment Day is going to lose. But the match was great nonetheless. They felt like threats during the match. But the booking didn't make me excited going into the match. After this, we basically go into the World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther, who calls out CM Punk for his promo the previous week. I really was always looking forward to these promos between the two because I feel like Gunther, at least in the wrestling community itself, is he's underrated on the mic. Like people will always say he's good, but I don't feel like he gets enough props about how good he is on the mic. And so
No,
I
he
was
does
really
not.
looking forward to him and Punk here. And it's actually been pretty solid. I wish there was just more time for them to talk shit. Like they only got like 2.5, 3 weeks or whatever it was of promos.
Yeah, it was a fast build.
And I saw some people saying they didn't care for the promo last Monday of Gunther. Like he basically did his own like little mini pipe bomb and Punk didn't reply. He just kind of stood there afterwards in like kind of amazement. I thought that was great. I loved that last week. So I was excited for this week's promo. And I don't think it was as great as that one, but I liked Punk here. I thought he did a good job of trying to do what Gunther did, but Gunther also did a good job of not being rattled by it. Because as soon as Punk stopped talking, Gunther was like yelling at him and like yelling into the camera, like angry. And I was hoping they wouldn't do what they did to Punk and have him just stand there and like, what the fuck just happened type of thing. And they didn't. So that made me excited. And the crowd actually really seemed to like this. They were really chanting for Punk. And I think a lot of people just want to see CM Punk win the world title again. So they were obviously behind him here. But I really enjoyed this full segment. Like Punk really did a good job at putting over Gunther while at the same time talking about how I just like how he refers to himself as the best in the world while also acknowledging that Gunther has that title as well, like for it because of what he's done. So like Punk's so good, one of the best at like not just talking, but like putting his opponent over and making them feel like a threat with his words.
Yeah, and another thing that Punk's good at is people will talk about how he seems addicted to chasing this title. And he made that another point, I've never been an alcoholic, I've never been addicted to this, but I know what addiction feels like because I need that.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to wanting that title.
Yeah, he said he needs it like the Detroit Red Wings need a fifth Stanley Cup. He said like a Midwest dad needs a cold one.
Yeah,
so some good analogies there.
Yeah, and then if you watched the kickoff show last night before SmackDown, we actually, like you was talking about, Gunther was still yelling in his face, and then we see at the kickoff show, Punk finally got a little bit of Gunther rattled.
Definitely, he did. I saw clips of it. I don't usually watch the kickoff shows. They're usually on at a time where I'm like doing something or I just don't really care about them much. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
wish the kickoff show was an actual kickoff show. It happened before the show because now, of course, tonight we get a 3-hour kickoff show, I guess, or pre-show. Yeah.
I don't even like. I have those up, but like I don't pay attention really, unless there's like an interview from someone from like a match happening on the card or like whatever. Like, but very rarely do I pay. Like, I'll just have it. I probably won't even have that up today until it starts here in like 10 minutes. So I probably won't even have that up.
Well.
I probably won't have that up. Even if I wasn't doing this with you right now, I wouldn't have that up until I go live. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't care for those really much. But yeah, they do utilize them well, like with Punk, his promo to Gunther there, like rattling him. So there is needs to watch it if you really want to get the full story of things going on, because they'll continue things on those. But I can't sit down and watch those a lot of the time. But yeah, I'm excited for that match. I think it should be really good tonight. I think it could go either way, but I'm gonna say my prediction here. I'm gonna go with the cash in. I think the cash in happens on the world title, and I think regardless of who wins, it's gonna end up on Seth.
So I have Punk finally winning with the possible cash in, and it being kind of as short as Drew McIntyre's.
I would love that. It's something that I actually wanted them to do with. My initial thing this year was I wanted Cena and Punk to happen at basically because Punk win Money in the Bank. That's what I wanted. I wanted Punk to win Money in the Bank. I wanted Punk to cash in like at SummerSlam or whatever the fuck that may be. They did King of the Ring, so that wouldn't have been a thing. But like I wanted him to do like the whole RVD, like I want you on this night, like when he cashed in. I'm not gonna, clock you from behind. I want to face you one-on-one. So that's what I wanted. And I wanted to see Punk win it. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting mixed up here. Because I wanted someone to cash in on Punk. I forgot who it was now. Shoot. Anyways, I had Punk winning. King of the Ring is what it was. And then going to face at SummerSlam, winning it, and then having someone cash in on him. But I forgot who it was now that so much has happened since then that I don't remember. But I thought that would have been a cool way to have Punk lose it. But it might happen. It might happen here with him losing to Gunther. So or
Yeah,
winning Gunther and then losing to cash in.
of course, there is the possibility. Like I know, I seen Seth posted a thing. It's like it stated the knees healing remarkably faster than what he thought, but he doesn't want to come to Jersey.
I didn't
So I
see
don't
that. Where was
know.
that at? Where, did he
I
post that?
seen
I didn't see anything about that.
I seen it on X.
Because I feel like there really hasn't been anything since he was on like the host of the Rich Eisen podcast when he like filled in that day, and it was just like him saying like my knee's swollen. We're still waiting to swelling to go down before we get more info. I feel like we haven't heard shit since then. So
Yeah, and so it would be a surprise if he did.
yeah, I think he'll cash in tonight. I really think that's where it's gonna go. And
If he
then
does cash in,
yeah,
it's going to be, I think, a surprise. But once we get to the other side of the card for Friday, I'll tell you some stuff my brother had told me that he's hoping happens.
what's that?
So of course, with the whole thing that happened Friday night with Cena and Cody, he's hoping that my brother wants to see the possibility that The Rock and Heyman align together, and that's where Seth cashed in at.
Uh, why? Why would he align with Rock after everything he went through with him last year? That's my question.
I know, but it'd be the ultimate Paul Heyman swerve that no one's seen. Is how he wants it to happen.
Well, we'll talk more about the Rock here soon because we're gonna talk about SmackDown, but
Yeah.
because I have some ideas there. But main event of Raw was Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. Obviously ended in the DQ with Breaker getting involved, sparing him, causing the ref call DQ. Of course, that's where Roman came back out, and they had the whole Yeet TC, I guess is what they're calling it now. But any notes on this match? I mean, it was basically everything I expected it to be with the DQ ending and Roman getting involved at the end.
The still in the shoes spot I thought was
yeah.
actually pretty smart.
I forgot about that actually.
And then he showed up last night on the kickoff wearing it as like a necklace.
That's freaking awesome.
I thought that was fantastic. But for me, as much as I've enjoyed the Roman and Jay storyline and Jay winning the title, getting the solo push, I think you make the wrong decision if you don't have Bronson and Breaker win.
I agree.
After what we've seen Monday.
1000% agree. And I think they're going to make the wrong decision and have Roman and Jay win.
Yeah.
I really do. That's my prediction. Yeah. I think what they're going to end up doing eventually, at least this is my thought process right now, is that they're going to have Roman and Jay get the win here. And it's going to lead to Braun. Because they've been like, at least before Seth's injury or whatever, it seemed like Braun was saying shit that Paul and Seth weren't ready for, or like wanting to do shit that they weren't ready for. Like they always seemed like a little nervous around him, like backstage when Braun would be like, "We're gonna take this over," and all this shit he would say, and like Paul would look fucking nervous, and he'd look at Seth and Seth would be like, "What the fuck?" Like, so I always felt like they're already slightly teasing that Braun Breaker's like gonna be an unmanageable beast, and obviously he called him the the next big dog and all that shit that he called him top dog, whatever. But I really think it's gonna lead to them Roman and Jay winning tomorrow or tonight, and it's gonna lead to the Roman Braun singles match.
Yeah,
but they could do it the opposite way too. They could do it the opposite way. It makes sense too, where Braun and Bronson win tonight, and then Roman's like, I gotta beat him 1-on-1 or whatever the fuck. But I don't know. I just have a feeling that they're really gonna go with Roman and Jay, especially with how over they are.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. They're extremely over. But like I said, I think it's the wrong decision in the long run.
I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I just it's just like a gut feeling. I don't really have anything that points to why, besides what I just said. Like I feel like it could go either way. Like this is a 50-50 call. Like I feel like Hunter's probably like, I can see benefits of both. But I really feel like the right call is Braun and Bronson. I feel like they haven't had much. Like when the faction first started, it seemed like they were always fighting someone who they'd beat down prior, and then they'd beat them because they were beat down before the match. So it's like, well, they didn't really win the match because they jumped them and then they beat them in the match. Like when it came to like Sammy, they had to tape ribs, and Penta, they would always beat them down prior. So it was like they're not really feeling like a threat because they're having to beat them down prior. They don't feel like they're dominant because they're having to do that prior to the match. So I'm hoping that
That,
it kind of changes.
that does make sense. But yet again, Monday Night Raw for me overall, start to finish, it was more of a building show as a go home show, I guess, than what I feel like SmackDown was. But we'll compare at the end, I guess. Um, I just feel like there was more that built SummerSlam here.
I feel like Raw's
Because
been the
Brock,
better show at storytelling than SmackDown has for a while.
yeah, I feel like they've started utilizing the time more that they have, except for, yeah, I think this past week there was, at least I felt like there was less filler on Raw and more actually building.
I feel that too. The only thing that you could argue was filler was probably the Judgment Day in LWO, but they also that had story to it too. So,
Yeah, it did.
one thing I do want to talk about when it comes to NXT was the amazing Javon Evans Wesley match. Did you see that?
I did.
That match was fucking incredible. That was probably one of the best NXT matches in a bit.
It's showing West, not West, but Javon's growth in NXT and in wrestling.
Yeah, Javon, his promos have improved a lot. Like he had a few backstage promos on Tuesday, and they've always let him mainly be him, like how he talks. Like I feel like he's not part of like the machine the way he talks. Like I feel like since Blake Monroe's come in, and I feel like she was like this in AEW a bit too. She's very robotic with her talking. She's like really slow and enunciates everything really strongly. It could just be her accent. I don't know, but like I feel like she was like that in AEW too. But it's such a contrast when you see like someone like Javon or Trick Talk and they're just being themselves. Maybe that's just who Blake Monroe is or Mariah May, whatever you want to call her. But like I feel like that's just the WWE classic promo is like slow, methodical, make sure your words are really heard. But I feel like Javon and like he's like someone who's really like gotten used to like while being in that WWE system, just being himself and standing out even when he's talking. Like he doesn't sound like that robotic same old shit that you hear from almost every other wrestler.
No,
So I really
he
like that he's
most
improved that way.
yeah, he most definitely shows that he is being himself, and he's, even though if he's being, hey, this is what we're going with, he's putting his own feel on every promo he goes out there
Yeah.
and does.
Even if it's just like a line, like a word he always uses or something like that, like my boy or whatever he says. Like it always feels like it's words he's saying and not something someone wrote for him.
Yep, exactly. I feel
But
the
yeah,
same way about it.
that match was incredible on Tuesday. It was fucking insane. It was way, and I hate to say this, but Wesley has been so forgettable since he's turned heel, and I don't blame that on him. It's just been where he's at, like just what they've done with him as a heel. Just pretty. He's been featured in some big storylines, like he's been with Trick this whole time since High Rise kind of became a thing, kind of like backing him up. But like, I feel like he's just been so forgettable. So it was good to see him in this match, like to show that he's still fucking put on bangers, especially after his back injury he had. But that was really all I have for NXT, honestly.
Yeah, man, I watch NXT, but I feel like NXT, and the most positive thing about NXT that I can say for the last 3 months is they know how to utilize the women's division on screen.
I think that's just more depth in the women's division, even without Julia and Roxanne and Stephanie. It's still been the best part. Like I had said a few weeks ago, like it's been a bit more downhill, at least for me, when it comes to enjoying NXT. Like I still enjoy it, but it's like the women when it was just like nothing but women for a long time. Like you get like 3 women matches and like a few like 2 women segments, and then the rest was men. Like that for some reason the show felt more entertaining then than what it's been now, and I just attribute that to the talent is better in the women's division even right now in NXT than it has been the men. And they've been trying to focus more on the men, but I just feel like they're not as enjoyable right now. Like they just haven't hit that spot, or it could be the creative on top of it. I don't know, but it's just I haven't been as captivated as I was when the women were mainly, and they still are the primary focus of NXT. Just I don't know. I feel like they're definitely trying to focus more on the men because they know they need to work that up. And they've done a good job with Javon and obviously Oba, and I'm interested in to see what happens with Tavion now that he's separated from No Quarter. Same with Miles Bourne because they're both really good wrestlers. But I don't know. I just don't feel like right now there's enough invested in them to make me really like them as much.
Yeah, And I think people who can, they can lean on to try to kind of build would most definitely be people like Sean Spears.
I disagree. I'm not
I,
a fan of Sean Spears.
I think what he's doing right now with the culling has been great.
I've hated the culling. I think what's made it interesting is Izzy and Tatum. That's the only thing that's captivated me in it. I also don't like how they dropped not Briggs. Shoot, I can't remember his name, and I've met him. Not Briggs Jensen. They totally dropped him.
Brooks.
They gave they gave a reasoning, Izzy, they did the whole thing, but now he's like, there's no payoff. It's just they dropped him and they moved on. And then there might be a payoff down the road, but it's like, really?
He's currently doing Evolve Wrestling now.
I've just been waiting for what's his name, Ridge Holland, to join the group, because then it'll be the totally forgettable faction. Because I feel like Nico Vance is forgettable, Sean Spears is forgettable, Izzy I like, and I feel like she's been the standout so far since being in it. But yeah, everything has been pretty forgettable up until this point, I feel, for them. So I don't know. Sean Spears isn't it for me. As much as he's a good wrestler and he could talk, it's just one of those examples of and then the bell rang.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see that.
But good on the mic. He had a good gimmick with Ty Dillinger, or at least the 10 thing was over. But even then, even when he was Ty, I was like, and then the bell rang. Like, it's not like he's bad. It's just like forgettable matches.
And do you remember when he was, I think it was Steve was his name, and he got super kicked by Sean?
Oh, Stan, yeah.
Stan.
Yeah, he's been in developmental for a long time.
Yes.
But
he's been there, so.
Yeah, no, NXT was aight, but nothing to really go home about this week on it, in my opinion. So I say we jump straight into AEW. We've been going for a minute, so I want to try to get through this. We have a lot to talk about still. Obviously, we started with the Outrunners in the title tournament eliminator versus Talent Name.
Yes.
That was
two jobbers.
I didn't even realize that they had the jobber until Sarah was like, wait, the Buck's already in the ring. And then I was like posting something already. And then I look down and I see the Talent Name and it's stat and social media or whatever. That was the funniest fucking shit. And I missed I didn't capture my reaction for it, unfortunately. I didn't have my thing recording at the time. But it was one of the funniest things. And the Bucks are so good at stupid shit like this. I love them for this. It's something they've done since fucking... At least for me, since New Japan days. They might have been doing it when they were Generation Me. I didn't watch TNA when they were there, but I thought this match was good. I actually was surprised the Bucks pulled this off. I thought it was going to go with the Outrunners here.
I thought they would. The Young Bucks are good at putting over other tag teams. That's why they dropped the tag titles. But I guess they're trying to rebuild what they had, and of course, Swerve's going to make that impossible for them by calling them talent or, no name, no
I think
entrance.
that's all on production. I don't even think that's like Swerve or anyone fucking with them. I think that's because they lost their EVP status, so they treated everyone like shit, production, everything backstage. And so it's just everyone's like, they're not EVPs anymore. We can do what we want with their fucking shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Swerve does have any play in it, but I know he's very vocal about making them feel absolutely horrible.
Yeah, definitely. But this match was really fucking good. Like, this match, like, I'm not a big fan of the Outrunners. Like, I think I wouldn't say they're a case of in the bell ring. I don't know. I used to, but like, they're really entertaining. But I just don't get behind their gimmicks. Like, it's funny. I get it. I get where everything's coming from. I just don't connect with them much.
I mean, there are people that do. I've seen people talk like it reminds them of the 80s style WCW wrestling that they would have seen.
Yeah, that's
with
what their
tag
gimmicks
teams
are for sure.
And of course, that gives people a way to connect with them. I think they have great spots like the double elbow. That's over with everyone. Yeah, but then of course Taz commented on their pants look like Newports.
Yeah,
a pack of Newports.
Like, that's so funny, I mean, but like I just and I obviously I grew up in the born '90s, but like they're funny. I don't know what it is. Like their best matches are against the top teams. So like FTR had a great match with them, Bucks with this one. Outside of that, I'm like, like when they faced the Hurt Syndicate. When they faced the Hurt Syndicate, I could have cared less about that match. Like, I was zero interest. Match was happening. I'm like, oh man, that looked like a tough spot. And then I just go back to looking at my chat. Like, I was not interested in any of that. And then obviously we saw them at All In. We both went to All In, and they were in the pre-show match. They were over as fuck during that pre-show
Yes.
match. The crowd was going nuts for them. It's just a me thing. I just can't connect with them.
No, I mean, I like some of the move sets, but other than that, there's just I don't feel like they're it.
Yeah, but then they have
for
matches like
AEW.
this, and it's like maybe they have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was surprised. I really thought Outrunners would be facing, at least beating them, just based off of what has been happening with the Bucks. But Bucks got a fucking big win with this, so I feel like it's gonna lead to FTR and Bucks in the finals, right?
Yes.
I really don't
It
want that
is.
again. As much as they have great chemistry, I just don't think it's necessary to have those two teams in the finals.
I mean, I would be surprised if the Bodito made it to the
No, yeah,
finals.
no way, Brodito wins. That would be great.
I
But
mean, as much as they're over, and we've seen that at Collision, but I don't think they get past the Young Bucks.
then after the match, of course, we saw Okada come out. They beat down the Outrunners with talent name. Sorry, that's what it says here, so I just read it off. But then, of course, Swerve came out and he helped them with Nana, and they beat down talent name and Okada. Obviously, setting the stage for Forbidden Door with Okada and Swerve, which they announced on Collision. But I'm really hyped for Swerve and Okada, like especially 'cause with the new title, that's gonna make it huge. I feel like former world champion getting a title shot against the unified title. I hate the name, but this title feels big.
Yeah. Now, did you see that the Tony made it clear that it was going to be under Continental rules, no outside
Yeah,
interference for
so I
that?
guess the way they make it sound is because Okada was the one to win the unified title and unify the belts, because they didn't do continental rules for him and Omega at All In. It was just a normal match. So yeah, since I guess the way it works, if the way I perceived it was if Omega would have won, then it would have just been like the international title rules. But since Okada won, that's what made it under the con, which is fine because obviously I don't want them to get rid of the C2 or anything because that's a fucking great tournament every year. But I thought that was funny that they didn't go with the continental rules for Okada Omega.
I wish they would have. I think Don Callis getting involved kind of messed up the build they had for that match.
I also hate that Ibushi essentially didn't feel like he was there to even the odds. Like he was, but then like when the match happened, it didn't feel like he like was like actually even the odds.
Yeah, I mean, but my thing is, I understand Don Callis has cost Kenny a lot, building up to everything
It's
that's
gone on a long
happened in
time.
Yeah, so I can understand it happening. I just hate the outcome of what happened at that
I
for
get
that.
it though. Yeah, I get why they did it though. I agree though. We have a backstage interview with Mark Briscoe after this. Basically, he's continuing his feud with MJF. Ricochet and Gates of Agony or GOA rolled up. These kind of talk shit to him, which obviously we've seen pan out with Ricochet and Briscoe later on in the show.
Mhm.
I love Briscoe on the mic. Like I only got into the Briscoes before Jay's passing, so basically the AEW ROH era. Like I knew of them, I
Yep.
just never watched a match until then. And man, Briscoe's so good on the mic. Like he's just someone that like that's someone I can connect to. Like he just seems so authentic and just everything he says seems legit. So he's really believable. So anything Briscoe doing backstage, I always have to sit there and listen because it's just so good.
Yeah, I missed the word of the day segment.
Words of the day were great. I used to love that when they did
Yeah.
the conglomeration. So we come back and MJF has a backstage segment where he's outside of the Hurt Syndicate locker room. He's talking about basically stuff with Hangman and stuff with Briscoe. But then, because he's talking about his contract that he won, but then we see Shelton come out and he says MVP isn't here because he's furious at MJF. And that basically he whips out the watch that he gave him, saying, I know a fake Timu watch when I see it. And he drops it on the floor, it breaks. So it was a fake Rolex that he gave them earlier before he joined the syndicate. And of course, Bobby the week prior did the thumbs down because of MJF being MJF. And Shelton did the same thing here. He gave him a thumbs down and said, "You're out," because they're outnumbering MVP again on the vote. So he's seemingly out of the Hurt Syndicate already, which didn't last long. I thought it would go a little bit longer than this.
Yeah. I think it was just a setup to get him that contract, and Well, eventually, in my opinion, how I look at it is MJF is going to cost them the tag titles.
You think MVP is going to side with MJF?
I do.
Interesting. I never thought of that, I guess.
And
It's going to
then,
be interesting for sure, though.
what do you think about MJF also trying to rebuild the Pinnacle?
I've seen a lot of speculation on that. I personally didn't care for the Pinnacle. I felt they didn't. I don't know. I just didn't. I never felt like they did a whole lot.
I mean, I guess they didn't, but I mean, if he can add people to it, that would help more or less than what it was last time, which would be, of course, I mean, I know you got FTR in it, but that would be the way they win the tag titles. MJF gets back with FTR, they dethrone the Hurt Syndicate.
That's a good possibility when you put it that way. I never thought of it like that when it comes to like, because I guess it could be FTR that wins the tag title eliminator tournament, whatever they're calling it for Forbidden Door. But I honestly didn't think they would even beat the Syndicate just because of how like they've just been so dominant. So I could see that. That does make sense on how they could finally get it done with MJF costing them and the Pinnacle. I just don't think they'll reform the Pinnacle. I just see that because they have history, MJF has no problem helping them in some way because of his issues now with the Hurt Syndicate again. So I don't know if that'll be like, if I had to guess, I would say that you're right on with him helping them, but I just don't think it leads to the Pinnacle reuniting. It's just them kind of working together in that sense because they both have, they both have something there. He's got kicked out of the Syndicate, so he hit up his old friends, and they want the tag titles, so they went with it.
Yeah, just a one night situation.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know if they'll reform the actual faction in some way. I could see them working together and like end up being in a 6-person tag maybe against MVP. I just don't think MVP turns on Bobby and Shelton.
I mean, it's just possible, but that was a long shot in my opinion.
Maybe it could happen. I've been it's not the first person who's brought that up to me about the Pinnacle. Yeah. I just don't think it happens. But I've really enjoyed the whole Hurt Syndicate storyline, even though I wanted it to last longer with MVP with MJF being a part of it. It's been really interesting, so I like where it's going though. So after that, this was hilarious. We had a Christian Cage promo that went way too fucking long, first and foremost. Yes. And he was fumbling his words a lot, that I think he tried to put it into the promo to make it seem part of it, because there was the one part that obviously stuck out where he meant to say I became and he said I came, and it was obviously hysterical just because he hesitated after he said it because he realized, and he tried to cover up by saying shut up there, I'm conducting business, or whatever the fuck he said. And I was like, that was an obvious cover for your actual flub. Because then he started doing it more. He would pause randomly the rest of the promo, and he said it like 2 more times. And I was like, he's just, and I even told my cousin who was watching, I was like, I think he's just saying that to try to cover up, to make it seem like that was the plan of him saying all along. I think and then he would stutter a lot. I stutter, and I was noticing it. Like, he would like be saying things, and he'd be like, and then I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, what is he doing this on purpose? If so, he looks so weird. So this whole promo was hysterical, just because it went too long. You could tell Shivani was like, "Oh my god, hurry up, dude! Like, let's go here." And word in the dirt sheets is that he went too long.
And then I think that's also what made the concerto awkward. I mean, I know the spot was probably supposed to be there, but I feel like they
should have just did the thing on the ground where he's laying on one chair. I think that would have looked better. Because obviously you're not gonna really hit him with 2 chairs. It's pro wrestling. We understand that. But at the end, it was like, when I first saw it at first, I was like, oh, that camera angle was really bad for that. But then I saw like fan footage, and it looked just as bad from the front.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, okay, it was just a bad spot. They should have just did the whole chair lay down. I get why they had Kip and him do it. It's the 2 of them. Why not do the old-fashioned version? Especially with Edge telling him to go find himself, or Cope. So it's going to tie back all together to them teaming up, Edge and Christian, Cope and Christian. But I was like, man, there probably would have been a lot of better ways to do that, because it just, no matter what that angle was, they just totally didn't look good.
No, it did not work. But yeah, I think the promo, like you said, it ran way too long, and honestly, like, it got to the point to where I kind of drifted out and was talking more to chat than I was
Oh,
listening
we
to
were
it.
we were shitting all over the promo. Me and my cousin, we were just sitting here mocking him, fucking laughing. We were talking about the I came. My chat was like, "You need to make that a sound alert." Like, like it was, or like a pop up where it just like focuses on. Like we were just BSing about that the whole promo. But yeah, it went way too long. And Christian's a good promo, so that was a bummer to like
Yes.
see that he had a bad promo basically. But I still am interested in what's going on with him in the patriarchy, or the former patriarchy, whatever they're called now, because it is intriguing to see what Nick Wayne does next. But yeah, no, that promo was one of the worst promos for Christian, I think. Surprisingly, after that was the world title match.
Yeah.
So
I expected that to be main event of the night.
I had a few issues with this because it was A, the way the rest of the show played out, and B, everyone was banned from ringside until they weren't. So the only one that technically went ringside was Marina. The rest stayed in the crowd, and then they pulled her over back in the crowd to kind of play it off like she was the only one that broke the rule. But it's like, if that's the rule, why did the match continue? You know what I mean? I didn't get that. Match was fire though. Like, regardless of the stipulation kind of being broken and the placing of the match, it was fire. It was fucking great. It was really good storytelling, regardless of the other two things I brought up.
Yeah, the in-ring chemistry they have together is fantastic, and you see that in their matches. It wasn't a Texas death match by no means, but it still had that same feel without everything we've seen at All In.
Yeah, they, like you said, the chemistry is always there with these two. I don't think they've had, in my opinion, have had a bad match, and they fought like 8 times now in AEW. So, yeah, no, this was a really good what should have been the main event. But yeah, no, with even with the whole Darby Allin getting involved, which was obviously in the crowd, so it wasn't like, oh, he wasn't ringside or whatever. You know, I guess that's where they use that terminology. But I still think that they're doing a good job at building Moxley and Darby based off of this. Like, a lot of people are like, why is this happening on a Dynamite? Why is this even happening again so soon after All In? And I kind of understand that, but I feel like it's playing really well into the Darby returning after, because a lot of people even were like, oh, Hangman's not going to win at All In. It's going to be Darby. They were building Darby up. They were building OC up. Like, yeah, that's how that story started, but that definitely isn't, you know, I thought at the time that's not where they were going to go with the world title. So I think they're doing a really good job, at least in this story with Darby, and like how they're transitioning Darby into that role now, to pushing him to the main eventer with Mox. I think it's really panning out well now.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I want to see Mox and Darby. I think there's a great build there, but I don't know how many people are currently buying that as a main event right now for them to. But I can, down the line, I give it 2 months of them building this, because I think that's how long it should, 2-3 months. Then we're going to see a fantastic match, because Darby can put on a hell of a show.
I hate to say it, and I agree with you, but I think they're gonna have it happen at Forbidden Door here in August.
Yeah, it's
I
probably
think
going to
that's
be
right.
rushed, but yeah.
They have way too many pay-per-views now. I used to love the 4 pay-per-view format, or 5, whatever it was AW started with. But I mean, obviously, you gotta do what you gotta do business-wise. But yeah, no, I think they're doing a pretty good job, at least in the main event scene with Mox and Hangman and Darby and everything. The story's been really good for a while, so I'm excited to see where that goes. Hopefully it does pan out. I feel like they could have the match at Forbidden Door, and then it lead to like another match down the line this year still as well.
Yeah, but I want to see Darby take out a few of the Death Riders.
I think he will, especially after what happened on Collision, which we'll get into a little bit of that as well.
Gosh, yeah.
So yeah, good match overall. And I was happy with Hangman winning, because obviously that would have been pretty shit if he had lost right away. I just didn't care for that, the fact that people were banned from ringside, and then there they were anyways. Then we got the women's match, which I thought would be the main event. I was like, okay, well then they have to be doing the women's match in the main event and having like the cash in, right? No, that was next. We got a video package for the match for Collision of Kyle and Dustin, and then we got this match, which was a good tag match. I loved the spot with Alex and Tony doing the little dance and then going to kick Billy. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's a great spot for them. I think they can build off that, in the sense that if by chance Tony does drop it, them two could possibly form into like some sort of a tag if they wanted to do that.
I think Athena does the throne Tony. I think she'll end up using like Billy and her minions to help get that done.
Yeah, but I think it's called the O face is her finisher.
Dude, I just learned that that's what it was called this Wednesday. I still called it the Eclipse until I'm sure they called it the O-Face forever, but I feel like that was the first time I heard them say it. And I was like, I did not know. I even told my child, I was like, I had no clue that that's what they call it now. It makes sense. I was like, but I feel like, and I don't watch ROH weekly, and I only see their PLEs if there's like a really big match that I want to see on it, or pay-per-view. But I had no clue that's what they called it. And I've seen Athena fucking wrestle so many times in AEW live. I've seen her like 3 times live, and I did not know that was called the O-Face up until this Wednesday.
Well, I didn't catch it till they done the Taz moment, whatever it was.
That's
that's why I was like, wow, that's what this is called.
Yeah, and then she got the promo saying it or whatever too. But this was a fun tag match. Like, it was really good. It was, again, a match that I thought I would have put this, and then I would have put in the Mark Briscoe Ricochet match that led to the MJF stuff, and then I would have did the world title main event. I really didn't. At the end of the day, I thought it was a good Dynamite, but I thought match placements were very off. The show ended less hyped than it was the first hour.
Yeah, I have to agree. The match placement, I think, killed the momentum. I hate to say that, because the build was Hangman versus Mox. You promoted it a week before. It was the main graphic you've seen everywhere, and then it was the mid-match throughout the night.
Yeah, and then Briscoe Ricochet wasn't bad. It just didn't feel... And I guess the whole reason that main event, it led into the MJF stuff, which they've been doing for a bit. But, like, even then, I was like, this is not bad, but this could have... The pacing just felt so off after it. Like, it just didn't feel like that was the main event segment. And it's probably just because it got overshadowed by that great world title match. And then even the women's tag match was really good. And I'm not saying that the Ricochet Briscoe match was bad. It was a rematch. And obviously so was Hangman and Mox. But I feel like the story, while it's been good for Briscoe and Ricochet, just... you couldn't really put it where it was. I don't know. Tony does this. Honestly, it reminded me of Rampage. Like, Rampage, for a while, at least the last year-ish, I'd say, was more just really good wrestling with very little story. And, like, I had been to a few of the Dynamites where they taped the Rampage, and they would tape it out of order, and then, like, you would... I don't know if it was just that was the reason I always felt like it was weird when I would watch it back, the ones I went to, but it was like... Man, the matches they ended up airing as the main event didn't feel like the main event, even watching it on TV. Like, it just felt like a good match for the sake of a good match. Like, when that's fine, and that's what a lot of AEW is sometimes. But, like, at the end of the day, when it's your biggest show in Dynamite, where you're having this big fallout of a lot of things from your biggest show in America, and I get where they're going with Briscoe and MJF, it just didn't hit for me at the end.
No. I guess we're on the different sides of that. I really want to see Briscoe beat MJF, because I feel like it's going to be more satisfying if Briscoe gets the title shot, because Hangman done said he's happier giving Briscoe one because he's worked for it. Hangman beat him, and then you see MJF attack both of them to cash in.
That would be interesting, actually. I could see that for sure.
I think that builds MJF, because he's the ultimate heel, even in real life. He keeps it that way. And then him taking out both Hangman and Briscoe after they've had a 30-minute match and are both absolutely gassed, 100%. I'd buy that every time.
So for Collision, I don't want to go through the full card here because we have a lot to get to on SmackDown as well. But a few things I want to talk about is I love the way it started, Collision. Obviously, it was Thursday this week due to, I'm assuming, SummerSlam. I don't know the reasoning behind why it was on Thursday this week. That's my guess.
Yes.
But the Death Riders immediately took over Collision, storming out, taking out security. He called out Darby, who appeared on the balcony, and then he just totally disappeared. Like, they couldn't find him. So it led to later on, which was later on in the show, where Moxley and Claudio and I think Wheeler were up on that balcony looking for him. And they all started going through a door with Mox being the last one to go through. And he got kidnapped by Darby, which was fucking hilarious. He had the whole towel, which I'm assuming was supposed to be like chloroform or whatever to make him easier to carry out. But it was funny to see Darby, who is shorter, like reach up and like behind him and just drag Mox away. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, "Oh my god, chloroform! He's chloroforming him to death. We're getting another murder!" Like, because AEW does some of the most heinous shit that you could consider attempted murder. So I was like, "He's murdering him! Oh my god!" I thought that was just in general, the Death Riders trying to take over, looking for Darby was a great way to start out, especially after he lost to Hangman, and Darby obviously took out the Death Riders during the match. Anything to add to that opening segment and stuff and the whole kidnapping?
I think it really like Darby has yet to talk other than what we've seen at All In and his promo on top of Everest.
Yeah.
So we know his intent, and I truly like that about his character. What they've decided to do with that. Now, the only thing I want to see them do is for him to continue to take them out in the same way he tried doing Mox. Because we know the Death Riders threw him down a set of stairs.
Yes, that was awesome.
And I think the easiest one to take out that everyone's going to get behind is Yuta. Because everyone, for some reason, hates Yuta right now. So you take him out first.
I dislike Yuta being a part of the factions because it's clear they don't care for him. And it's been that way prior to the whole when, what was it? Was it here on Collision? Where it was somewhere where Hangman faced Yuta, or it was like the week prior, I think, before Moxley. He faced Yuta, and he beat him like in 3 minutes. And then he was beating him down afterwards, had the chain to hang him. Yuta's a bloody mess. And that's when Hangman's like realized, like, no one's, and he said, he goes, no one's coming to save you. And he just dropped him because he was like, it was pointless. They're not even gonna, I want them out here. So he just left him alone because he knew. And it was something they did when they were going after Bryan with the Death Riders, when he, before leading up to Mox and him for the title last year, is that Yuta seemed expendable. They would send him out there to get beat up and he'd get destroyed. And then they'd come out either later and not even help him. They'd just go after whoever. Like, they wouldn't pick him up and like a lot of the time. And then with Bryan too, they would like, he was on the fence. Yuta didn't know what to do because, you know, that's one of his idols, and they would like hold him there and have him watch what they did to Bryan. So like, it's been a slow brewing thing with Yuta and the Death Riders. So obviously that's what makes a lot of us not want to see him get beat down and like have no issue with him getting beat down. But I think at the same time, the Death Riders don't care if he gets beat down.
Wasn't he part? No, he wasn't part of the Best Friends group, right?
He was. So
he was?
when Yuta first debuted, it was him and Best Friends, but he like didn't really fit in. Like, he did, but he didn't feel like he fit in.
And I think that's just been his role everywhere. Because I remember him slightly being there, but he wasn't really like the ideal part of the group.
You know, the only time I really like started to like Yuta was when he had that Rampage match against Moxley. Like, that was his standout moment. And then ever since then, he never reached that pinnacle again. I hate to say.
No.
But
maybe he will at some point, but it's not right now.
They're obviously building this up for him to turn on them and like side with either someone, whoever they're feuding with at the time. I guess Darby, but yeah, he's definitely gonna leave the group first. We had a few good matches on Collision. Brodito versus Gates of Agony. I thought Gates of Agony were gonna win. Brodito got the win, so they'll be facing the Young Bucks on Wednesday in the tournament. They had a great finish too. Brodito, Brody King laid on his back, his legs up. Bandito ran from the corner to Brody King, and Brody launched him, and he did basically like a front flip, like a 360 or whatever you want to call it. And he fucking did I don't know, like a splat, just landed on a splat. Like, it was insane.
Splash,
like, I don't know what you'd call that, like a fucking front flip splash. Launched front flip splash. I don't know what the fuck they call that. Like, that was fucking insane. It was one of the most unique tag finishers I've seen.
Yeah, my thing is, I was kind of, when I seen the setup, and I didn't know what was happening, honestly. But I want to know how many times I had to practice it, because if he barely puts too much momentum in that push-up, he could have easily hit the turnbuckle. So it's a great finish. Maybe they need to move it just a little farther to the center of the ring, so there's no issue with that happening. But either way,
Bandito, he's always gonna land it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but either way, I think that match was better than what I thought it was. I didn't have Brodito.
I totally thought Gates of Agony were gonna win. I thought like Ricochet was gonna help them or something. We saw a little segment with Shane Taylor confronting Don Callis about money he owed them after they helped them in the past. That was a little interesting. Kyle O'Reilly had a funny backstage interview that involved the whole it was him and Roddy, and then the conglomeration got involved. And it was funny. My favorite part of it was just at the end, Kyle didn't know which way to go. He's like, do I follow Roddy? Do I follow the conglomerate? Like, he literally did the whole, like, just like walked in a circle, and then he finally went with Roddy. It was the funniest fucking thing. I cracked up at that. Of course, we saw Moxley get kidnapped, and then Darby takes him outside of a. I guess it was outside the arena. I guess they were like right near the the arena's next to the L or whatever they call it in Chicago. And yeah, like you said, he tried to throw him down the stairs, but security stopped him. So Chris Statlander defeated not Vert Vixen. It was Lena Cross, which was interesting. She pulled a Rick Rude. She was on TNA and Collision on Thursday.
Yep.
So that was cool to see her there. Chris Statlander defeated her in a fun match. Tekla defeated Willow because of the new Triangle of Madness faction with her and Julia and Sky, which I'm pretty intrigued by. Also, Willow and Chris kind of had like almost like a moment prior to the match because Chris was leaving and Willow came out, and like Chris like basically waited for Willow to get next to her, and Willow like did her kick, and then Chris turned around. Like, I don't know, it's almost like an acknowledgement, but not at the same time.
I don't know what they're doing with Statlander at the moment. I feel like they can't decide if they want to put her in the Death Rider because it's been teased, or if they want to continue having her do a solo run.
I think it's just Tony wanting to do a slow build. Like he does a lot of these, so I feel like this is just a slow build. But maybe he doesn't know which way he's gonna go yet. What I found interesting about after this was that we saw Penelope and Megan join not like the faction, but they joined Triangle of Madness and beating down Willow after the match, which led to Aminata, Ty J coming out with weapons. So is this gonna lead to women's blood and guts?
It is. Tony is wild enough to give us that, and I think the women in AEW. Yeah, and I am too.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So if that's what it leads to, I'm hyped. I just don't want to put all my like hope that it's going to happen, and then it just leads to like a normal 5-on-5 or something.
I mean, you would have to make sure everyone on board is okay with it, but I mean, the chaos is doable.
Oh, 100%. Especially with Ty J and Willow, they've all been in like fucking hardcore matches in AEW or whatever they're called, street fights and shit. So
yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully that's where it's going to, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up on that. Bowens and Billy Gunn, it seems like Bowens is going to be turning heel, while maybe Caster's going to be turning face soon. It's kind of interesting to see the dynamics kind of change on the two. But that's going to be interesting. They had a backstage segment where Bowens basically told off Daddy Ass. Sort of Strickland, this is where they announced on Collision that he's going to face Okada for the unified title after they had a few promos backstage. That should be awesome for the title. FTR defeated Bang Bang Gang in the semifinal round, so they're going to be facing whoever wins the Bucks Rodito match this Wednesday. It was a pretty fun match, nothing too crazy. I love that we had Card J and Card Colton. That was cool.
Yes, that was a big thing for me. And I hate that they continue to get injured. The Guns have huge potential. And the tag division.
Yeah, that was literally their first match back since returning.
Yeah. And I'm glad Tony didn't say, well, let's hold off again. No. Juice is healthy. Let's just throw Juice into the mix. We can still run this. Because 2 of the 4 is there. And the cutouts was a perfect. Because of the whole aspect.
I was hoping Bang Bang Gang would pull it off here. Just because they're probably going to FTR Bucks, and I'm sure the match will be fine, but I feel like this will be their 5th or 6th time facing each other in AEW.
It will.
I'm kind of over it at this point. And it'll be a good match, though, if the Bucks beat Brodito, which I think they will. But yeah, FTR, you could be right. I think they could be using MJF to get that win over the Hurt Syndicate. So I think that might be the direction they're going. I don't think the Bucks win the tournament, so. Athena is saying that she's going to sign her contract at Forbidden Door. I'm surprised that that's the route they're going. Like, because she pinned her on Wednesday in the tag match. So I thought because even Tony was like, fucking do this, just do this. Like, let's just fight. Like, and so she had multiple routes she could have gone, but she's going to sign the contract for London. How did you feel about that instead of it? I pinned you, I should get a shot.
We know the match is going to happen. Athena will, like you said, is probably going to dethrone her, but I feel like with her getting the pinfall, she should have a match and not have to sign the contract.
That's what I would think. You think, right?
On the other side of this, it's Forbidden Door. Anyone's able to come in and have a title shot. So why did Athena decide that she wanted to just sign the contract, let's do a regular match, instead of letting the Forbidden Door process happen. Someone outside fight Tony and then sign the contract after the match. I'm confused
That would
about
have been the smartest thing to do.
I'm just confused about that aspect of it. But either way, the match is going to be fine.
Oh, 100%. That's going down at Forbidden Door later this month. And after that, we had the Max Caster Open Challenge, which is funny. I enjoy it, but I felt Roosh looked really dumb in this because not only did he go the full 5 minutes, thus making Max Caster technically win because he survived the 5 minutes. Roosh, like you could see him look at the clock and then hesitate more and more to do things. And he tried to justify it on Twitter or whatever. He put a thing saying, I just wanted to beat his ass, whatever it was. He said, I don't remember exactly what he said. But basically, he just wanted to kick his ass. Like he wasn't too concerned about the time limit or winning the match. He just wanted to beat the shit out of Caster. That does fit Roosh's character. But at the same time, like he was visibly looking at the screen, the crowd chanting the time. Like he just looked dumb because like, it wasn't like he was just getting nonstop offense and then he just kept beating him down. Just wanted to beat it. Like, I feel like if that was the case, they should have just had Roosh just continue to beat him down to where the ref had to call it. Be like, no, like he's not breaking on the count of 5. He's just beating his ass. He's not following. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like it was too much of a wrestling match for him to. I don't know. I haven't cared for the way they book Roosh. I just feel like he's always so start and stop. And when he is there, they don't make him look like. I think he's one of the best wrestlers they have on the roster. I think he's great on the mic. I think he has the total package, and I just feel like he's always an afterthought. And he didn't look good.
And his group is as well currently.
So I feel like
I hate to say that.
And he said, like, I think he even said in the tweet, like, I beat him before in like a minute or whatever, and so I didn't need to do it again or some shit. But I was like, dude, you just came off so dumb because you were looking at the clock on the screen in between moves. Max Caster got a lot of offense in too, which I was surprised by. That was the best Max looked in any of these 5-minute challenges. But yeah, I just didn't care for the way Roosh came off. He just didn't come off looking smart.
And then I think it was smart that they panned back to Caster and he's still laying there and his music hits and he just throws his fist in the air. Because he's finally got the win. Now are they going to continue to have him win?
They might, and we'll see. They're definitely going to be doing a double turn with him and Bowens. At least I don't know if they'll be like in the same storyline, but like they're definitely Max has gotten the whole chant over, and Bowens is definitely getting the slow turn to the heel right now. So
yes.
After that, we had Skyflight versus Shane Taylor Promotions, which was a fun trio match. Skyflight is now Scorpio Sky with Top Flight, which I had no idea they were a thing until this collision. Not a bad match, but it wasn't really super memorable either. Don't really have much to say about that match. And then we had I already talked about the Darby stuff, which actually happened after this with Mox, but Kyle Fletcher and Dustin, holy fuck.
Yeah. Fantastic match.
Honestly,
started off hot.
Yeah. It was my match of the week so far.
Yeah, I mean, Dustin delivered fantastically, paying homage to, of course, his dad, Dusty, with the cowbell. That was great. The table spots, that was crazy.
Yeah, every spot was really fucking crazy. I found it crazy that he shattered dreams him with throwing the tacks in his trunks. Like that was fucking insane.
And the only bad thing about that is I wish Kyle would have sold it just a little more. Because of course Don comes over there. Don for some reason,
screwdriver, yeah.
Yeah, could have, fell to the outside, looked like he had tears in his eyes, something to give it just a little more feel. But then again, I feel like they might have been rushing.
Could have been.
Because of the time frame.
Could have been. I mean, they did go over on Collision as well. They did do an overrun. Excuse me. But no, the match it's like almost a Dom. Dustin is 56 putting on matches like that. Like he was a bloody mess. Kyle was a bloody mess. Like if you were to look at Dustin, you would definitely think he's around that age just by seeing him. He's obviously older, but like he doesn't wrestle like it.
No,
he doesn't wrestle like he's older. But this whole match was fucking insane. Just the use of the weapons, the screwdriver spot in the knee That was
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah,
Like,
because he dug that in.
yeah, that shit. And he kept it wasn't just like he was like just like dug it in right away. He was like stabbing him and stabbing him and stabbing him until he finally got to the point to where they dug it into his knee. Like, that was insane.
Yeah, and then I think was it Mercedes who commented on it and was like, "How do I do that to Tony?"
Yeah, I think she did say that.
Yeah, so there was great aspects of it. The overall match, though, I think Dustin really showed that he's okay with putting someone over. And Kyle, he deserves it.
100%, 100%. I thought he was going to win it all in, but obviously with the injury to Adam, they probably wanted to go with the more shock value instead of what they probably felt Kyle winning was going to be too predictable at that point. So they had it, maybe, I don't know. That's my guess why they went with Dustin at all in. Plus Texas, he's from Texas. It kind of all lined up too.
Yeah, and during that match, I had stepped away to go like find a shirt because I didn't hit the memorabilia stand when we walked in, and then I hear Dustin's music play, and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, like
They gave Dustin the
there was like
title.
very little pop and more of just like people like, what? It was shocking. It was legit a shocking moment. But yeah, good Collision overall. Great main event. Collision, I feel like, has been a lot better show the last 5 months than it was previous to that, in my opinion. Really been enjoying it lately.
Yeah, ever since I got rid of Rampage, I think Collision's been improving.
SmackDown last night. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Of course, it started with Cena Cody. I still think what Cena said last night is a ruse. I think if you missed it, if you're just listening to this, Cena cut the biggest babyface promo since forever. And it was the perfect promo to turn face. Like, it was exactly what you'd expect him to say. Like, everything. And he took shots at Travis Scott with the only platinum rapper that's gonna be beating you up on Sunday is me. Brought up the whole like being something I'm not. About two guys who don't show up, basically. Like, I'm kind of paraphrasing here. But it was legit everything that a lot of the hardcore fans have thought about his heel run so far, all in Cena's promo.
Yep. And so the only reason I think it may not be a ruse is because WWE is really good at showing us stuff and not giving us true answers until it happens, but giving hints along the way. And for me, and I think there's been other people that pointed it out, was that Cody, for the contract signing, had the watch on that Cena attacked him with, that was given to him by The Rock. He made it an emphasis. He posted on social media. He emphasized that hand in general. And then some people were trying to throw in the glasses look similar to what The Rock was wearing for the first night of Netflix. When
I think
Raw
that's a
went
reach.
there.
I think the glasses thing is a bigger reach. The
Yeah,
watch makes sense. The glasses is a huge reach because I wear glasses that are the same style. They're just clear frames. They're
Yeah,
just not wired
yeah.
frames. Does that mean I'm gonna be there? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That one's more of a reach. The watch makes a lot of sense more than the glasses.
But I mean, so and then John Cena, I don't feel has truly enjoyed his heel run. I think he's liked it at the beginning, but then we've seen towards the truth match, and even after, he was wanting to celebrate. He was wanting to get in the emotions of the face turn or being the face again.
That's the only part I could think of where he seemingly wanted to embrace the thank you Cena chance that he got after the match. Like, every other match, I feel like he was good at just walking out, doing the thing that he does as a heel. But that was the only time where I will pinpoint to that. I was like, he's teasing going back face.
Yep.
But I see a lot of people with the Cody stuff. I don't think Cody's turning heel. I really don't. And I know he's talked about it lately, which could be indications like, oh, he's been saying in interviews, I don't know about turning heel. It could just be him trying to swerve us, with his interviews, us hardcores. But like, I really don't like. The only other thing I could point to with Cody is that he's used a weapon twice this year in 2 different matches.
Yes.
And but he didn't introduce that weapon. It wasn't like he went out and grabbed it. It was the other person bringing it. It was there. It just happened to be the best case for him to use it on Kevin, and I forgot the other one that he used it on. I don't remember who it was, but he used the chair with Kevin, and then the belt or whatever it was with whoever.
Yes.
With John, maybe, I don't remember. But those are the only 2 things, I guess, plus the watch that you could kind of say could indicate that. I just don't see it. I feel like Cody's in a spot right now that they had John 12, 13 years ago, where it's just like they can't justify it based on how over he is with a certain demographic of audience, mainly younger,
Yeah.
people, and just how. And I'm not saying he was merch wouldn't sell as a heel. I just don't think he would agree to it right now. I really don't.
He may not. I'm hoping that he does turn heel though.
Isn't that the rumor why it went with Cena? Is that Triple H and Cody were like, nah, now's not the time,
I mean,
and why
that
it ended up
is
being
the
Cena.
that is the rumor. I know WWE Unreal has the story going a little differently on what the idea was. I don't know if you watched it, so I don't want to
I've only seen the
give
first two
away.
episodes
I
so
don't want to
far.
give that away, but yeah, I think that's the reason they went.
It was a great promo
Either
though.
way,
John
it was.
was.
Yes.
I was waiting for the whole Stone Cold-esque, the drinking the beer, and he hits him with the fucking
Yeah,
AA or
that's what.
something, but now they fully had Cody roll out of the ring and Cena embrace the face, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, later tonight he's gonna fucking attack him backstage or something, right? That didn't happen. None of that happened. That was it. They left it at
Yeah,
that.
did not. That which gives more of the anticipation for what is happening Sunday.
I could still see Cena like halfway to the match realizing that like Cody's just better and he just goes back to the heelish ways. I could totally see it. Or like he'll grab the belt and tease it again and then drop it only for Cody to use it or something. Then if that's the case, then Cody's turning heel. But I just don't think he's turning heel. I really
It's a
don't.
street fight. There's a lot that can happen.
See, and that's another thing is it's a street fight. So even if he does use a weapon, Cody, that doesn't make him heel. Even if he grabs it
It
first, it's a
doesn't.
street fight. It's part of the match. So
It doesn't. Yeah.
there's like you said, they've did a good job at making us anticipate what's going to happen tomorrow night with that Cena face turn.
Truly.
I've just found the promo really interesting from Cena because he buried Travis Scott and basically brought up how The Rock hasn't been around. So basically burying the whole thing. At least it felt that way. I was like, he's really shitting on what their storyline. like it's really ending this way. But yeah, pretty good opening segment. It really had me intrigued because I really want to see where it's going to go. They went to Jelly Roll training backstage after this with random people. I didn't recognize anyone he was training with besides I forgot who it was. He works down in NXT. But yeah, he took an RKO like a boss. That's all I'll really say. Or not RKO, Claymore, sorry. Claymore.
It was nasty.
It was a really good and shout out for Jelly. I mean, I'm not a big fan of celebrities coming into wrestling. Like, and I've never been a big fan of it. It's been a thing before I was born, but I've never cared. Like, I kind of have that mindset that, like, that Punk has talked about, like, oh, like coming in and taking spots. I kind of like back in the day with this pipe bomb with part timers and stuff like that. That rubs me the wrong way sometimes, especially when you have like people like Carmelo Hayes not on TV, and you're putting Jelly Roll in a match. You know what I mean? That kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I shout out to him. He's obviously lost a shit ton of weight leading up to this. He was losing weight prior to this match. But like he looked really good just in general. Like, and shout out to the word of him, moving to Orlando for the time being while he's training. Like that's props to him for that.
My biggest thing is we've seen him do the ball. We've seen him do a choke slam.
Mm-hmm.
I am really intrigued on what his moveset is gonna be.
It's gonna be the bigger guy who does the power moves. He's gonna do the clotheslines, the lariats, the running into the corner, smashing them. Maybe a power slam or something like that.
Could you imagine Jelly Roll doing like anything off the top rope? That'd be insane.
I did a simulation of SummerSlam's cards, so I like downloaded a Jelly Roll character and all that. So he was kind of a bigger character in the game. So I simulated the match and watched it, on stream. And then whoever made him gave him like some fucking lion salt type moves and shit. So we had Jelly Roll just running and hitting lion salts. It was the funniest shit. But could you imagine if he goes up top and hits like a splash or something or an elbow drop?
A splash. Insane. I mean that'd be perfect because Jelly Roll would want to do it, but I'm looking forward to his.
I expect the rest holds, the headlocks, arm drags, the basic pretty much, and that's usually what it is with the celebrities, unless you're Logan or Bad Bunny and other people.
Oh my gosh,
but,
Logan is surprised the hell out of me.
But that's the least out of all the matches from SummerSlam. I could care less about the Jelly Roll match.
Yep.
Like, I just hope it's good. We got to see Psycho Clown and Mr. Iguana debut on SmackDown. They battled for the AAA tag titles after this against Los Garza.
Huge pop.
They got some pretty good pops. Con Man got featured during this when he was coming out to the Iguana chance, I believe it was, and they showed Con Man.
Yep, he did.
But it was unfortunately had some botchy moments. Well, it was still an entertaining match. There was definitely some spots that were a little sloppy, which happens when you're, dealing with guys that you probably never wrestled before. And they're obviously coming from AAA, luchadors. They're not full on, the WWE style wrestling. And so is Los Garza, though. They're luchadors, at least in the sense of that's their style. But there was a few moments where Mr. Iguana slipped off the top rope. He recovered really nicely. He slipped when he was like doing some crazy shit, but he was able to like land on his feet and then go back up and hit whatever he hit. But overall, it just a lot of stuff that was like, ooh, that was a botch. Oh, and then like Los Garza, like I don't know what happened here. I think it was Psycho Clown hit like a crossbody, and like Birdo hit a fucking drop kick while Angel caught him. It was really awkward.
Yeah, and you can see it in wow, I'm drawing a blank.
Was it when Birdo went for the pin, but Psycho Clown wasn't the legal guy or whatever? But then they went through with it and made Psycho Clown the legal guy anyways, and it still followed through. It made no sense. Yeah, there was a lot there that didn't make sense.
I don't know what happened there, but I mean, overall they had a great match.
It wasn't bad. Birdo was physically annoyed because he went for the pin on Psycho Clown, and then the ref was like, told him whatever. It looked like he said the shoulder wasn't down, but I think he told him he's not the legal guy, and then he like got him and went or whatever, really loud. Then he tagged in Angel, and then eventually Angel hit something, and then they just pinned him anyways. And I was like, what just happened?
What are we doing?
It was so confusing.
Thought Mr. Iguana was legal.
Yeah, so not a bad match, but it definitely had moments that you were like, we also had, I don't think this is in order here because I'm missing some things, but what was after that? Because I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. This is it.
I know Julia and Zelina first official match as well.
Yeah, was that following that? I don't. This is totally out of order for me here.
So I think it followed the John Cena segment. The Julia match did.
Oh, okay. So I skipped over that. My bad. Yeah, this thing's fully out of order then.
Which the Julia match, I think,
was really fucking good.
Yeah, it was, and a lot of people do not like that match, and for some reason, but I think it was the better match on the overall card for Friday. Just because we got to see that Zelina Vega still has what it takes to be the main roster material and title chaser.
100%. I actually thought they were gonna flub this up and have oh shoot, the chick who just returned. I totally blanking on her name.
Kiana James.
Thank you, Kiana James.
Yes,
I should not forgot that name. I don't know why I did, but I thought she was gonna help Julia, which I'm glad they didn't because Julia doesn't need her help. I really don't know where they're gonna go with Kiana because Kiana's like, I'm assuming just gonna be the mouthpiece for the most part. Maybe they'll be in the tag division eventually, but
I don't think she's 100% cleared yet either. That's another thing.
She was gone for over a year, so that's crazy if she's still not cleared. But yeah, so really good match. I mean, the crowd even did "This is an awesome" chant during the match. So if that doesn't speak for how good the match was, I don't know how I didn't like that match. That was a really good match. But Julia gets the win with the Northern Lights bomb, which was disgusting. It looked like she dropped her on her neck. It was disgusting as fuck. But really good match overall. I'm glad that I hope Julia has a better reign than Zelina did in the sense of title defenses and just more memorable. Zelina, I think, only defended it the once, and it was when she lost.
I think she defend against Chelsea where she busted her nose.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she just spoke on that. That's right. So she did rematch Chelsea. So far, I hope we don't get that same thing. She's already did the rematch. I hope she just doesn't wait until she loses it like they did with Zelina, I guess is the way I meant to word it. But yeah, really good match. And then we had a backstage segment with Solo in the MFT. I love Solo right now. He's really entertaining. He was good as just like the bodyguard or whatever to Roman, where he didn't say much. When I went to WrestleMania 39, I went to Wally Mania, and like they were honoring the Usos at that one, and they had Solo there, and he wasn't really talking there too. And the only time he got over at Wally Mania just by someone was standing next to Solo, like one of the guys interviewing him, like the Usos on this. And Solo was just like standing there like this, and one of the guys interviewing him stood next to him, and he had like a bag of Doritos, and he went up to Solo and he was like, "You want some?" And Solo was like, grabbed it, and the whole crowd just started, "Eat the chip, eat!" Like he just got that over, and it was hilarious. He barely talked, but now he's like talking all the time, and he's hysterical. I love the little face he makes, like I love that. Yeah. I crack up every time he does that. Like if he's laughing at his own joke, but no one else is. It's so fucking funny. But
They've really improved that with him, I do believe.
yeah, so they brought up that he's the one who, because everyone was asking me too in the chat, like, why is the cage there? Isn't that supposed to be for Sunday at a different arena? It's because Solo requested it to be there, and it made sense. They were gonna try to trap them in and beat them down, Jimmy or whoever. But a little interesting backstage segment there. Then we got that's when we got Los Guards and all that. I skipped ahead to that like a dummy. After that, we get a couple backstage interviews, nothing too crazy. Aleister Black and Damian. It was kind of a forgettable match.
The only part of that match that really stuck out to me was Damien set him up for that South of Heavens on the table, and then Aleister Black just proceeded to destroy Damian Priest.
Yeah, so
Bounced
Priest
his head
won
off
by
the
DQ because of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're just gonna save this for like the full blow off, like at a Saturday night. I don't know when the next Saturday night main event is. I would assume it's probably next month or the month after. But I don't know where it's going, honestly, after this match. Like I felt like this match I was chatting with my chat more than anything.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, yeah, Saturday Night Main Event works. But then yet again, Priest seemed like he was a little sluggish to me in this match. I don't know if it's stuff that's just over time has built up from his battle with Drew leading into it, and he has not had time off. And that's what this is going.
Oh yeah, there was word that he was dealing with some type of injury, wasn't there? Or no, that was before. Sorry, that was when he was working with Damien. I mean, with Drew. Yeah. Sorry.
So I don't know if that's just lingering over it. I didn't know he was in. Drew said he was. I didn't know Damien had came out and said it, but he could take a few weeks off.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
That would make sense to give him time off and for him to come back and beat him down or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wasn't invested in this match as much as I was excited. I love Aleister and I love Damien, so like you would think like this, but it never clicked for me. Like it wasn't bad. I just didn't get into it. Jade Cargill confronted Tiffany Stratton after this backstage. She says she doesn't want to be there to be any excuses. Tiffany said, and Jade said there won't be. There's nothing in her way, and she's gonna finish what she started. I think Jade's gonna get the win, so I really don't really expect much out of their match, to be honest.
Truly hope Jade, like nothing against Jade, but I don't see Jade winning it.
I guess we'll gloss over this just because it's political based, but they showed Triple H at the White House doing the whole sports, fitness, and nutrition thing, which I thought was funny that they actually showed it. Just because I understand that's what Triple H is doing, but what does that have to do with anything going on the show?
I mean, it doesn't. But I know he was there. Him and I think Trump reestablished the fitness test in schools.
Yeah, and he said that
is what it was.
Hunter's going to be on his sports, fitness, and nutrition council, which is
I'm not.
I could say so much about that because Triple H was obviously a gear user back in the day, so that's pretty funny to me.
I think everybody was a little bit.
You're not wrong, but the only reason I say that with confidence is because it was clearly a time when he stopped and he definitely got bloated.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I think it was when he started wearing the colored trunks. Anyways, I always remember that Triple H. It was like, he's definitely not on the roids at this time. Because he was so big. He was just like, his belly got big and flabby and his chest, like his upper body was still like pretty solid. But it's like, he's definitely not on the gear right now.
And that was after he came back from his ACL tear in that match with Jericho.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was a quad tear, not an ACL tear. But
might have been, yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny that they showed that. After that, we got Big Jim Uso versus Tala Tonga. This was Tala Tonga's SmackDown in-ring debut. He had been on Main Event and some dark matches previous to this, but nothing on actual TV for us. And honestly, looked the same that I remember in the ring. Like, it wasn't a bad match, but it was like, I almost want to say it was like Damian and Aleister. It just was there. It was just a match that happened. Obviously ended the way it did with Tala winning via the chokeslam. He had the basic big guy moveset. But nothing stood out besides his height.
Nope. That was it.
I had the same issue with him when he was in New Japan and crossing over with AEW and Impact. He was never memorable besides he was the tall guy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I felt the same way about this match. which was unfortunate because how long he had been supposedly signed, I was like, oh, cool, they're giving him reps. He's working on it, and he did the big guy moveset well. It was just nothing stood out about it.
Yeah, I hate that it didn't, but that's where it's currently going to be at, because I think he's rushed at the moment as well.
Maybe. I mean, he was supposedly in the PC for a year, signed before they fully brought him up. But I guess he might have been injured too. I don't know. But oh no, that was the other Samoan family member that they.
Lance.
Lance. Dude, there's so many of them. I forget names so easily.
Yeah.
Apparently he's been the one that was injured, but yeah, no, this was a pretty forgettable match. I hate to say. I'm glad that they gave him the win though, even though it wasn't fully clean, but he got the win. And then it just led to them lowering the cage, but Jacob got there before they could fully lower it, and Tala, which I thought was funny that Tala and Solo ran off, but it was JC and Tonga who got beat down from Jacob and Jimmy. But overall, I hate to say it, forgettable segment.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Jacob doesn't win, I'll be surprised.
We had a backstage interview after this with Alexa and Charlotte. I've actually enjoyed Charlotte in a team with Alexa since this started. Like, she doesn't seem like she's trying to be Miss Perfect anymore. She's just being Charlotte, which it was always an issue for me. Charlotte always felt like she was trying to be her dad.
Yeah, she's being more of herself. I think she's getting away from that this time.
So it was a pretty good backstage segment. They're basically like not calling each other friends. They don't even want to put a name to themselves until they could even win the tag titles. I thought that was pretty cool. So I thought that was an interesting way to look at it for them. But yeah, I like that. This is something I wanted, even though she's still in a title scene. It's better than her trying to be the old Charlotte Flair that she's been, in my opinion. And then I was surprised that Jelly Roll and Drew and Randy and Logan were the main event segment here. I don't know what could have been, because like you said, this SmackDown definitely wasn't as good as the Raw Go Home show. I think you can kind of tell based on our kind of opinions here on what we thought of everything as we go through it. But very forgettable ending segment, I would say.
Except for the massive choke slam we've seen to the security guard.
Yeah, the choke slam was cool. I mean, I don't know, man. Just nothing about it, though, was like, man, now I can't wait to see Jelly Roll beat Logan's ass or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was supposed to be the goal. But me personally, I didn't feel that way at the end of this. I was just like, I hope it's a good match.
Like, you could have, in my opinion, if you would have switched the opening with the ending, I think it would have sold SummerSlam better.
They obviously did that at the opening because they were commercial free for the first 30 minutes.
Yes.
So I think they were nervous of them going over if they were the main event.
That's true as well. Yeah,
they would have to probably make the rest of it. I feel like the rest of the show would have felt more rushed if they would have had that at the end, because then they would have been trying to save all the time for Cody Cena.
Yeah.
But then also, I did say at the end of Cody Cena, because I looked at the clock and there was still like 15 minutes into that commercial free half hour, or like 12 minutes free. I was like, wow, that didn't go the full 30-minute commercial free. I totally thought it would.
It did. It didn't. We got Julia and Zelina Vega, right? I think it was both of their entrances.
I want to say yes, but I have the Netflix feed, so I usually don't know anymore what's on commercial or not, because I do. It has a little time in the top right on Netflix when it's on commercial but like, so Raw's the only one that doesn't technically do commercials on Netflix. It does like little things in between. SmackDown and NXT actually do get commercials. They'll just say like, we'll be right back with that like waiting music. But a lot of the time, it'll still, like, if a match is happening, entrances, it'll still cut out. But I don't remember, honestly. If they got their full entrances, we might have. But overall, SmackDown, I would have to agree with what you were saying earlier. Is just not as solid as the Raw Go Home show when it came to the storytelling aspect. And there was a lot of stuff that happened on there that wasn't obviously leading to SummerSlam, like Damian and Alistair and Julia and Zelina and Los Garza's AAA tag title defense. So a lot of it wasn't even focused on SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was a builder for what's to come, which is okay. I think it touched on the two main things that SmackDown has brought to the table: the world title and the tag titles, which didn't really get a big segment, just a kind of like a preview, and then the Drew tag team match.
Same with Jade and Tiffany. They just had that backstage segment that was like a few minutes tops. I feel like that's been the whole thing with Tiffany and Jade. It's just been so forgettable, this build. And I hate to say it, but that's been Tiffany's reign for a while now. It's just been forgettable. Like, and it's not even on her. I feel like it's just been her booking in general has been like, she faced a legend and Trish at Evolution prior to this, which had very short build because of all the events happening leading up to that. She kind of refeuded with Nia a little bit this year. Like, it's just been really like, okay, what's next? Like, that again? Oh, a legend who didn't earn a shot. Okay. And that's just me, obviously. But I really wish they would have put more focus on Jade and Tiffany.
I do too. But I think the match will deliver on what they did in building it.
So overall, pretty solid week of wrestling. Obviously, there's so much to talk about. And honestly, I'll be honest. We went way longer on this than I expected to because there's just so much to talk about, though.
I'm not going to lie. I was looking at the time and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I'm going to be live on Twitch and everywhere in like 45 minutes. So, but it's all right. This is our first time. See, we're trial and error. That's how it works. But if you had to pick the best show this week between everything we talked about, what would you say was the best show?
Overall best show this week?
And it's obviously your opinion, so we're all going to have our own takes on like why we think this XYZ was the best.
I will have to say Dynamite. Even though we built for SummerSlam so well on Raw, I feel like there was more building for a show on Dynamite.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say Dynamite, even though I hated the overall layout of the last hour of Dynamite, I felt like they fucked that up. I think in general, just from top to bottom, when it came to matches, storytelling, that Dynamite probably had it more on par this week. I'd say Raw, I'd probably put on actually the same level tonight, this week as Dynamite. I thought Raw was really done well. But yeah, I would have to agree. I think Dynamite, and then I think I'd put Raw right there with it. But before we end, let's go through our SummerSlam predictions for both nights. So let's start with night 1. Of course, we have our main event, Gunther Punk. So we'll go ahead and start with that. Who do you got walking out as the World Heavyweight Champion? Or is there a cash-in tonight?
I got Punk walking out.
Really? Okay. So no cash-in?
No needed cash-in, in my opinion. If it does happen, I'd be surprised. But I do not have a cash-in.
I got Gunther retaining, and I think because they've teased and had a few segments with Gunther and Seth, so I feel like they're gonna push to Gunther Seth for now, and I think Gunther retains over Punk, but then I think Seth comes out. Seth might even cost Punk. Either way, I think Gunther wins, and then I think Seth cashes in, either making it a triple threat or cashing in after Gunther wins and wins it off.
That is possible.
Especially since Braun and Bronson are in a match too. I think he could. He's not going to utilize them because they're in the match tonight as well. But I think that he'll come out after the match and just take advantage of Gunther being tired. Because I think Gunther wins, at least over Punk. But I think he loses it overall.
I think they finally give Punk the finish, just like they did at Mania, but for the title this time.
Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross. We talked about this a bit earlier. I want Kross, and I think they would be the right move to do Kross, but I think they're right now they're tied 1-1 each on matches. It's their third match in their story. I think they're gonna go with Sami. I hate to say this, but just based off of what the dirt sheets have said they've heard, I don't know if that they're gonna lock in Karrion Kross past whenever his contract expires. So I don't think they're gonna go with Sami.
I got Kross. I do not think they're going to drop that ball they have currently building.
God, I hope they don't. They shouldn't, because it'll be the wrong
They shouldn't, no, but I do got Kross.
And then we also got the women's tag titles tonight, I believe, right? That's tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Roxanne and Raquel versus Charlotte and Alexa. I think Roxanne and Raquel retain. I think they're going to do a whole Judgment Day, we're better off without Liv storyline. They could keep holding the gold without her type thing. So I got Judgment Day.
I got them solidifying the friendship with Bliss and Flair.
You never know, they might. I think eventually what they're going to do is they're going to have them, because they've been building this up with Charlotte and Bliss, so I think they're going to fall apart and end up feuding. Then also tonight we have Tiffany and Jade tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So I got Jade. I think this will be a quick one, like a 5-6 minute match.
Hope not, but I got Tiffany in a
Really?
long. I got Tiffany at least 25.
I will be shocked if this match is over 10 minutes. I will be genuinely surprised.
I think they can both go the distance, and I think we've seen that with Tiffany and Flair. I know Flair's a veteran in the ring, but
I hate to say it, I didn't care for that match either. I didn't think that match was good at Mania. That was the most forgettable match. But dude, if Tiffany wins, that'll shock me more than the match going over 10 minutes.
we'll see.
Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Drew and Logan. I think that they're actually gonna go with Jelly and Randy.
Yep.
I think that one's
No. Sorry, I got Drew and Logan winning that one.
okay. I can see it, but I think they'll go with the baby faces here on this one. Am I missing anything for tonight for night one?
Yeah, that's 5. Roman and Jay.
Yeah, Roman, Jay, Bronson, and Braun. I think they're gonna go with Roman and Jay. I don't want them to, but I think they're gonna go with that route.
I had Bronson and Breaker winning.
See, that's the ideal. I don't. My gut is saying they're not going to go that, and it's just a gut feeling. I have no other explanation besides that. Like the storyline could go either way because they've told it great. I feel like when it comes to like both teams could win here, just based off storytelling. But just my gut is telling me it's going to be Roman and Jay. I don't know what. I don't know if it's just because they're so super over. I don't know. I just can't. I can't see Braun and Bronson walking out winners here. And then night. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. I don't think you drop the ball with what you done Monday and the momentum they have with Breaker.
And that's another reason, actually. I'll cite wrestling math as another reason why I see they stood tall. They stood tall on Monday, not Roman and Jay.
That is true.
So, they don't always follow wrestling math. I'm just kind of citing it here.
Yeah.
But let's go to night 2, and I'm going to go back to the wrestling math on this one. Dominic versus AJ. AJ and Kabuki Warrior stood tall on Monday. Dom didn't. So does Dom walk out champion? I think he does.
I don't think so. 5 years without a title for AJ. It's his last run, as what he said. I'm giving AJ the title here.
That's what my fiance Sarah thinks. She thinks that AJ wins and they're going to have Cena lose, and then it's going to go down to Cena trying to get that Grand Slam before he retires, and that's how they'll revisit AJ Cena.
That's a good point.
That's been her prediction. Yeah, that's exactly where she thinks that happens. That's exactly where she thinks that happens too.
And that crowd in Paris for AJ walking in as champ, and he can be a face finally, unlike he was against Cody.
I think this is going to be a classic Judgment Day match. Dom wins with the help of the Judgment Day. Whether that be JD, Roxanne, Raquel, they're on different nights, so I can see it happening.
Absolutely.
So I got Dom, you got AJ. What about Lyra Becky for the women's intercontinental title? I actually have Becky because I think Bailey is going to cost Lyra.
Exactly the same.
And then she's
not on the card.
We also have the Steel Cage, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. Does Tama Tonga return during this match?
He does, but he sides with Jacob, and that's how he wins.
I agree. I think even though they'd still be outnumbered because it would just be Jimmy, Jacob, and then Tama, I still think that they'll have Jacob be the beast that could take on multiple people because it'll be like a 4v3 technically.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Solo loses title here. I could also see him winning it though, because of that number game. Like they could still play into that number game somehow with Tama Tonga maybe being the foe to Jacob. I don't know. TLC match. We have Andrade and Rey Fenix, Fraxium, Street Profits, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Wyatt Six. What do you got walking out?
I had the Wyatts.
I think that they've been pushing Andrade and Rey super hard to where it just made me believe they're going to get those tag titles. I think they're going to wait on Fraxium, and obviously Profits have had it recently, MCMG, DIY, now the Wyatts. I think they're going to put it on Andrade and Rey. I really do. They've been pushing them really hard. I mean, they beat Fraxium in a fucking tag match. That shocked me, how fucking unbeatable Fraxium was there for a while. So,
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised at how well they're working together. And I like the fact that they were able to put Ray Phoenix with somebody that's not Penta, and it worked.
Yeah, and they were really over too. That's the thing. That's why I think they're just so over right now. Women's triple threat: Naomi, Io, and Rhea. I don't think they take the title off of Naomi just a month after she wins it. Not even.
She is not a transitional champion.
At least I hope not. I don't know how WWE feels about it. But yeah, I got Naomi retaining here. And so it'd be Naomi, Stephanie, and Paris. And then of course, last but not least, John Cena, Cody Rhodes. After that face turn, what happens?
I have Cody winning in a heel situation, and due to the street fight, due to the comments about Travis and The Rock, they help because the offer was still on the table.
They're gonna help Cody?
Yes.
I just don't believe Rock, isn't he filming he's filming something right now, the Scorsese film or something. So I don't think, if we didn't see him at Mania, it just makes me think he won't be at SummerSlam. So, and they did talk about Travis and they did talk about Rock last night. At least Cena brought him up. I just don't think Cody turns heel. I've said it a few times in this, but it just not happens to me. I think Cena wins regardless. I'm sorry, Cody wins regardless. I just don't think that he's going to be a heel to do it. He may, obviously it's a street fight, so weapons will be involved. I just don't think it'll be in a heel tactic. He'll just have to do kind of like what he did against KO. He fucking murdered KO, but it wasn't.
He did.
At least in their Royal Rumble match, Saturday Night Main Event match, you could say it was kind of heelish, but the Rumble match, he fucking murdered him based off of the rules. So I think that's what we'll get with Cody. I think Cena will realize that, like, doesn't matter what best he comes as, you know, even if he gives Cody what he wants, it's just not enough to beat Cody right now. I think we'll get Super Cody, same one that we got at WrestleMania 40, where he just kicked out of everything.
Maybe, but I think it's gonna be better if we get a heel Cody. But we'll see Sunday. I cannot wait. There's so much building on it.
The heel Cena, so I hope not. I didn't even like Cody in AEW, and he was perceived as a heel even though he was a babyface, and I hated it.
Yeah, Ring of Honor Cody was good.
See, and I didn't watch it then. I just saw highlights after the fact, so I didn't get to live that dope era. Or I did watch him a bit in New Japan when he like feuded with Kenny when he wanted the U.S. title when Kenny had it, but that was kind of later during his last part of his run there before he went to AEW or before AEW became a thing. But I don't know, man. I just don't see the heel turn happening. A lot of people are thinking it, but I just think it's not going to be there.
It'll be interesting to see what does happen, though. I'm really looking forward to the overall.
Yeah, I think after what happened yesterday, that match is my most hyped now, just based on Cena's face turn. But yeah, just go ahead and shit. I guess we're gonna call it here. We went live a lot longer, or went longer than we expected, so we'll have to make sure my goal was to at least an hour 15 tops, so this went way longer than that.
It's the introduction video.
Yeah, we're getting used to how we're gonna do this. And plus we want to incorporate games. So I think what we'll do next time is we'll skim over other things that weren't as prominent, but we had a lot to talk about today on the first one. So
yeah, building into SummerSlam, and then of course, if we do the SummerSlam, it might be the SummerSlam review. It might be long.
I mean, yeah, we'll definitely see how we could go about that, but for sure it'll probably be. As of now, we'll plan to do this on Thursdays. Was the plan date that we talked about. So if you guys were curious about when we'll keep doing this, Thursdays is the best days that we have for us. So. If we do this one for SummerSlam, it'll be Thursday this week, which is the plan for both of us right now, unless something comes up. Oh, wait, I can't. Sarah leaves on Thursday.
Okay.
I just remembered.
We'll figure it out.
She leaves Thursday. She flies back home on Thursday, and she doesn't leave till like 6 p.m. my time. So that's when her flight is supposed to take off. So obviously, and it's in Denver. I'm like 2 hours south of Denver. So yeah, it'll be like a little adventure that day. But so it'll be sometime this week. If not Friday or Saturday again, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I totally forgot about that. Unless we do it late Thursday. We could even do it late because I'll be back before that time. I should be back home. Because I'll be dropping her off way before that.
Yeah, I'll be available all day Thursday after 5 Eastern time. So
yeah, so even if it's a late one, not live, and we just record it, we'll see. But go ahead and talk about where people can follow you everywhere.
Yeah, so Kraken Wrestling across all platforms, YouTube, Instagram. We have a Facebook page, TikTok, and X as well. Also Twitch and Kick. We are on Kick. It's just we've been on there about a week and a half, but we are there as well. For
And
anyone that wants to
basically
hang
like
out.
me, pick your poison, pick whichever site you like the
Yeah.
most to watch his streams. But he does pro wrestling live reactions too. He goes live for the shows that he can. I think you go live for basically all the big shows, right?
Yeah. So Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Collision, any pay per view and premium live event.
Oh yeah. That link is down below in the description for his link tree that takes you to all of his stuff. And same for me. You guys know, if you're one of my viewers, at least here on the YouTube, where to find me. Here on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, join the Discord, all that is in the link tree. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll hopefully trim this down next time because it went way longer than both of us expected, but we had a lot to say. And we'll catch you guys on Turnbuckle Talk next time.